Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Monday, February 27th, 2023, and the topic today is a bit more serious topic, and it is suicide. And we've talked about this subject plenty of times in the past. We've had reportedly a suicide in the community. I'm still very suspicious of that suicide. It's something that did not make any sense to me at the time, and it was somebody who could have been a very valuable asset to the community. Talk more about that later. But, last night, we know there's a certain person who's been a member of this community, and they've been really upset in recent times, triggered by things other people said. And after the stream I did last night, they were privately messaging me that they're thinking about suicide again, and they hope they die soon to make the community feel terrible for the way they were treated by the community. And, again, I've reached out to the person and told them to talk to me, and then they just said they're going to block me. And so, anyway, the person is being, I don't know how to put it. They're not being right? But they're in this unstable mindset, and they're threatening suicide, and they're saying that this community could be responsible for their death. And again, ultimately, nobody else is responsible for anyone else's suicide. You could have been a contributing factor, but if it's a suicide, ultimately it was that person's decision to end their own life. And the majority of people who do commit suicide, it's over the same old subjects. It's, a breakup, a divorce. It's a huge financial problem or burden. It's something that totally humiliates and wrecks their reputation. It's these types of things over and over again that lead to suicide. And in this person's case, again, as they disclosed, they had, feelings for a person, and that person did not have the same feelings back, which caused them to feel rejected. And it was that with, getting an insulting remark from somebody else in the community. So it's like it's a culmination of things. But, it's like I do feel bad right now for this person. And I've been nothing but nice to them behind the scenes. And again, I was trying to be nice. And then for responding to what they said that I'm blocked. And I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is try to talk to you and help you. But, anyway, suicide. I'll tell a story again that I've told before. I used to have a friend. She was a RA, the resident advisor. If you've ever been in a dorm in a college, maybe in your sophomore year, you become resident advisor for the freshmen, and then you get free room and board. And, you're kind of like in charge of the students, making sure they're not smoking weed in the room and, partying too much and puking all over the hallway, this type of thing. It's kind of trying to keep the freshmen in check. And, my friend, she was a sophomore, and she had a freshman boy come all distraught about how his girlfriend had just broken up with him, and she just kind of laughed and said, "Oh, it's no big deal. You're a young guy. You'll meet another girl in no time, and, don't take it so hard." And 30 minutes later, or it might have been a little bit longer than that, but she found out that he'd gone in his dorm room and literally killed himself. And then she felt terrible. She felt like she didn't handle the situation right, and then she blamed herself. She probably still to this day blames herself a little bit. And again, that's why, like, if you know somebody who commits suicide, you start to think like, well, what else could I have done to help them? And maybe sometimes the answer is nothing. Because ultimately, those people who are making the decision, they have to help themselves. And again, for all the people out there who might even feel suicidal right now, there's a lot of reasons to feel suicidal. It can be so easy to just like get discouraged and feel upset and feel like there's no hope for the world. I literally just had that experience like 30 minutes ago. I subscribed to this channel because it's a debate channel. And, I just like to watch people debate. And they're doing a live stream right now and just talking about how they caught a video of a guy admitting that his father sucked another man's cock and they're making fun of that, and they just keep saying the same thing. Oh my God, he sucked another man's... He had that guy's load in his mouth. In 20 minutes, that live stream had raised over $1,000 in super chats. And it wasn't funny, it was just gross. And I was like, grown men talking about another grown man and what his father did? But it just, like, from my standpoint, it's like, man, we're trying to do something big in the world. We're, like, putting out real knowledge. Like, I'll do 3-hour live streams just, like, dropping awesome information, and I'll be lucky if we raised $5 in super chats after those 3 hours. I just watched $1,000 get raised in about 20 minutes with a guy they didn't even talk about anything else. They just kept recircling the same clips, saying the same thing over and over, and it's just like, man, this is the world we live in. That's what people value. And again, it is a dark, demented world. And I understand why so many people do commit suicide and why so many people are depressed. And when I was a younger person, the first time I ever had suicidal thoughts, like I was never anywhere near suicide, but like when I just started to question, like, do I ever want to live in this world? It was after 9/11 happened. I was a freshman in college. I was 18 years old, and I couldn't believe how dumb everyone was. I couldn't believe how everyone fell for the most obvious lie, and how everywhere I spoke out about it, I got demeaned and attacked and criticized and name-called. I just thought, what kind of world do I live in? I live in a world of morons who are angry at the one person in the room who can see the obvious. What a joke of a society I live in. But at no point was I ever, the thought would go through my mind, like, God, it would just be easier to be dead than live in a world of this pathetic of people. But what did happen is I isolated myself more from society and started reading a lot more and doing research and, writing and journaling and... Yeah, so again, if you are feeling darkness, if something is so distraught in your world, the love of your life is gone, your $1 million job is gone, a huge debt burden just came on, whatever it is, like that's just like totally flipped your worldview upside down, almost everybody knows the story who has persevered through those moments. Usually after the worst of times can come the best of times, or something better, or something unforeseen. Like, you never thought it could be any worse than that moment, and you thought there'd be no turnaround, but then there was, and you realize you're glad you got through that period. And, it's just like me. Like, the darkest point of my life was in the years after 9/11, and just realizing what kind of society I actually lived in. And, but yeah, it made me do more research and understand the world better, and I've been better off for it ever since, Had I stayed ignorant and just gone with the pack, I might have myocarditis right now, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, suicide, it is a serious topic, and of course I've made some people really mad in recent times because I've gone on some rants telling people who I just think are... Again, you guys, I want to differentiate between the two things. When I tell total losers and trolls and slanderers who just hang around to just, like, torment the community... that if this is all their life is, that they should go jump in a bathtub and get out the razor blades. Again, I'm still not going to apologize for making those remarks because I don't think they're wrong. Like, seriously, I think, like, all the pack of trolls that the girl I'm talking about, she just gave a big platform to all the trolls. All the same trolls that live on my Patreon all day are the same ones that went on her show and then, entertained her in her state of mind. But for those of you guys who don't know, there are a pack of employed people who just harass me 24/7, 365. They live all day on the Patreon page. They spam it all day. They attack anyone who leaves a nice comment all day. And it's obvious what their job is. Their job is to try and disrupt and destroy the community. These are low-life losers. And while ultimately I would wish better for something... would wish something better for them than suicide, like waking up and stop being a jackass and a waste of life and contributing to everything that's wrong with the world. If these people can't, like, to me, them in the bathtub with razor blades, that is a good thing for the world. Less losers in the world, that's a net gain. So, again, I don't want to mince words or confuse people, but yeah, for all the people who feel suicide for other reasons, like they are actually good people and they're just so disheartened by the world, and just don't even want to participate anymore. Again, I've always had the same message for those people. The world needs people like us. We're the type of people that have to persevere. If this world's ever going to have any hope, if there's ever going to be any change in it, it needs people like us who will continue to fight for what's right and try to wake up other people. And it probably will be a long, dark, depressing road. But you know what? I mean, out of darkness and depression can come good things. I mean, you can get creative, you can get humorous, you can make a great work of art, you can write a great book, a song, a poem, make a great YouTube video. There's so many things that can come out of a dark place. From darkness comes creativity. And for all of you younger people, understand that usually the hardest time in life is when you're younger going through these things. And again, part of the thing is you have like more, hormones and everything else just like flowing through your body at that age, which makes your highs and your lows higher and lower. And, again, you learn to persevere through it. You get more life experience, you get more maturity. It gets easier to overcome the hurdles. But you do see people who are older also commit suicide. And usually, again, it has to do with like losing the love of their life or losing their financial empire or their house, or sometimes they'll get a horrible medical thing and, they don't want to put the financial burden on their family, so they just get rid of themselves. And in a way, that's almost like, I'd say that's probably the most noble form of suicide, but at the same time, that might really break the family's heart, so... Yeah, and it's just like even my mom. Sometimes my mom hints... My mom's been doing it for a lot of her life, that she hints that, like... She'll say something like, sometimes I'd just rather be dead or something, and... But knowing my mom will probably live to be 120 and miserable the entire time. But yeah, again, good people should not commit suicide. Total losers, hey, I'll help rent the hotel for you. And for people who think that's wrong, I'm sorry. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to say what I think. Again, the guy who we lost in this community who supposedly died from suicide, which I still really doubt. What I always think about with that guy is he was connected to Mark Passio. He worked for Mark Passio. His name was also Mark. His name was Mark Hamilton. And he was one of Mark Passio's tech guys. And Mark Passio did have a really weird death of his significant other, as we looked at the time when it happened. Barb, and sometimes I just wonder if Mark Hamilton, because the weird thing was for me is through Skype, Mark had just put me on with Mark Passio to just talk to him for a few minutes, and then Mark Passio got off real quick. He didn't spend that much time on, but it wasn't that much longer after that Mark Hamilton died, and I just found that so weird. In light of Mark Passio always boasting about his Jesuit education and how he's a former priest in the Church of Satan. And I don't think Mark Passio does like me, so I don't know if he appreciated that Mark Hamilton connected me with him like that. And again, that was in real close proximity to Mark Hamilton's passing. And for people who didn't know Mark Hamilton, he was a really bright guy. He was a computer whiz. He was really into the sports decoding side of things. And... he'd call into my sports live stream almost every day, and it seemed like he always went against my opinion, and he favored like decoding things through the Hebrew calendar as opposed to the Gregorian calendar. But he was building like a gematria machine for us to just pull data, essentially do the work that I do each day, but just have a computer do it manually. And I was super excited about that, and he wasn't going to charge it. He just wanted to do that for the sports decoding community, and before he even finished the project, he died. Supposedly from suicide, which, again, for anyone who followed the show back then, I mean, we were all shocked because he called in with all this energy each day. Seemed like he was just totally committed to the project, and then all of a sudden, he was dead. But, again, I mean, only Mark Hamilton will ever know what happened, and if anybody else was there when it happened. But yeah, in case that was a real suicide, I wish he would have called in and brought up what was bothering him in life or what was so wrong. And sometimes when people commit suicide, people are shocked. They're like, I didn't know anything was wrong with the person. Like there wasn't any sign anything was wrong, but maybe they were keeping something inside. So anyhow, what I really want to do with this show is open up the phone line, and just in case there are other people out there in the community who are just down and out and never been more depressed, because And look at also right now, the majority of the highest rate of suicides right now in the U.S. are former military. Former military. And what have I been trying to keep young people from doing the whole time I've been here? Joining the military. Joining the military is an epic mistake. You are becoming a mercenary for the New World Order. It's a big lie, and that's why so many soldiers come back and kill themselves, because they realize they signed up for the big lie, and they went over and committed horrible atrocities that they cannot forgive themselves for, because they know that they killed innocent people. That's what our U.S. military mind controls people into. Be all you can be in the military, right? And then you find out that that's not what it really is. You're going to go over there and follow orders and do crazy things that you probably know aren't right. And anyhow, for the people in the community who are going through a hard time, if that one young lady's out there who's threatening to essentially kill herself right now, I will open up the line right now. Or you know what? If you're someone that wants to call in and say that you think when I'm saying this to the trolls, I need to stop doing that because, I don't know, maybe Chigozi Truth, maybe he's been suicidal lately. He seemed to get all hurt about my rants on the trolls. Young Ben seemed to get all hurt about my rants on the trolls. Maybe my rants on the trolls are seeping into their own life because they are also feeling this darkness, and then it's feeding that darkness. Again, that's not my intention, and like I always say, people also do got to grow thicker skin for this world. But now's the time to call in and talk about it. So if you do want to call in, I did pin the number in the chat, and I'd rather not take calls from no caller ID. But here, the first caller is no caller ID, and let's see if they're a sincere person or one of the dedicated trolls. No caller ID.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Cool. I just wanted to call in. You say your show's about free speech, but you block people all the time. I find that odd.
Yeah, again, that's not what free speech is. Go create your own YouTube channel and put out your message. Okay, next caller, 734.
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
Yeah, what's up? Huh?
I just add more to the conversation. I like to call this current programming. We say the term a lot, predictive programming. I like to call this current programming. So I like what you're talking about in the stream so far. I totally agree with everything. And so what I talk about when I say current programming, I'm talking about programming the current minds of our current children. So like the younger generation, because that seems to be affecting suicide rates a lot is the younger generation, not so much older people. Not that it doesn't affect older people, but a lot of teenagers and stuff. And so you see this a lot in media, and I just watched a video on this, the effects of media on suicide rates and stuff like that. Because a lot of kids our age, they're searching for answers. Because I'm pretty young, I'm in my early 20s, and so I kind of went through a little tough time, just like you. I would never commit suicide, but I kind of thought about it like this world sucks. I would rather be off of this planet than on it. But at the same time, I would never actually pull the trigger. I would never do something stupid like that. But at the same time, I see it affects my generation, Gen Z. Unfortunately, I hate to be a part of this generation because I do feel like this is the lost generation. But me personally, I don't feel like I am lost, which is why I follow this channel. And again, this current programming, so we see this a lot in media. I don't know if you know this show. I'm going to ask if you search it up real quick. It's called 13 Reasons Why. It was based on a book, and it's about a girl, and this is a bad programming. This show is horrible. Luckily, it got bad reviews. Even though that wasn't enough because the show got 4 seasons. Yes, the show got 4 seasons. In the first season, the girl commits suicide. And what does she do? Before she commits suicide, she makes a video cassette tape blaming everybody that is the reason why she committed suicide. And then she pulls the trigger and does the whole bathtub thing where she slits her wrist in the bathtub. I mean, it's the most cliche show you can ever think of. And yeah, it's just horrible, man, because that's the type of programming they love to put out in the world. So just think about it. A young teenager, I don't know, let's say somebody is like 17 right now in the world. They were born in like 2003, 2004. They watch a show like that that's really popular. It's on Netflix. And then they watch that and they're like, oh, well, I guess this is what I have to do. Let me just blame all my problems on everybody else instead of solving them myself. Like, it's not a good message at all. That show went on to have 4 seasons, tons of predictive programming in that. I remember when the 4th season came out. The 4th season came out in 2020, and that year was the year of the pandemic and all those riots. There's a scene where kids are rioting. Like, it was so, like, it's a horrible show. Yeah, it's super horrible. And then also there's another movie, because you brought up the military. There's another movie based on the book as well, just like 13 Reasons Why. It's called Sherry. And the show, or the movie, I mean, it's on Apple TV Plus. It's about a veteran, a war veteran. He comes back from war. He has PTSD. He's getting on drugs, cocaine, and like it just shows the effects of war. And I thought it did a really great job. I didn't think it was a truther movie, but per se, I wouldn't call it like, oh, this is a truth movie, but like it really showed the effects of war and how, because he went off at a young age. Of course, like you just mentioned, it's a horrible idea to do that. He went off to war at a young age because he was lost, and then he came back with a bunch of problems like PTSD, suicide attempts, so like he lost his girlfriend, everything. Like the movie shows like a lot of that. So again, there's a lot of current programming going on, is what I like to call it. So yeah, what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean it's all interesting, and just I just put up the stat on the screen for people who can't see. This bar right here is the rate of suicide increases in the 2000s, and it's been ticking up. And they haven't really put out the data for the time of COVID, but I'm sure it's going to go up a lot. And I just want you to notice though that the military rate of suicide is over double that of the general population. And when I like Fox News is always picking on Seattle and how the city's just filled with all these homeless young fentanyl addicts. Well, Fox News is also the same news network that tells everybody to join the military and go fight the bad guys over in the Middle East. It's like, why don't they go down there and actually see who these kids are on the streets of Seattle that are walking around naked and on fentanyl, and go find out how many of them are actually former military. Might be amazed at how it's about 75% of them. So, anyhow.
Yeah, man, the military is a big part of it, man. It's horrible. Like I said, that movie, it really shows that. It shows the effects of war and, like, coming back from it, especially at a young age. That's why I never would join the military. I have so many more options I would rather do than military. Because, again, a lot of people, again, this younger generation, because I'm younger than you, Zach, so I know from hand-on experience. I've been through a lot of, I was born 11 months and 11 days before 9/11, so do your math on that. That's a gematria spin right there. I was born in 2000, so I was born right at the start of the new millennium. So I'm aware of all the war tactics and all the, join the U.S. military today. Like, so, yeah, like, it's crazy, man, because this new, our younger generation, man, this is what they're really trying, like I said earlier, I really feel like our generation is the lost generation. But I feel like me and a lot of other people my age who kind of see past all the blinders, we can see past all the bull, like literally all the bull crap, even the Ben Shapiro's of the world. Because a lot of people, again, they like to be like, oh, Ben Shapiro a truther. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a part of it too. Like, come on, let's be smarter than that. So, yeah, and again, the Fox News, same thing. A lot of people, I remember you talking about a while ago, Carson, you were talking about Tucker Carlson, how a lot of people in the truther community even consider him. I'm like, no, guys, he's Fox News. He's a part of it too. Like, and like you just said, they promote the military stuff a lot too. So it's crazy, man. It's just this younger generation. Again, it's really this younger generation. So I really want to focus on this generation and this conversation that you have in this live stream today, because it really affects my generation. Because I've seen it on hand, and I've seen the current programming, again, not predictive programming necessarily, but current programming, where they really love to predict and sort of control the minds of our current generation, which is 2000s to 2020. This is really our new generation that's coming up. People born in around that time period, and so like they're trying to get the minds, man. They're really trying to, they got to brainwash the next sheep. So
indeed they do. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call and the thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Have a good life, Trey.
All right, yeah. Take care. Okay, again, it is a cell phone, you guys, so you got to time your call. There were a few people who called during that call. And when you guys do call in, maybe just try to keep your thoughts to 2-3 minutes. And we'll get through a whole bunch of different thoughts, hopefully, and voices. I don't know why these phones are so uncooperative. Okay, 248.
What's up, Zach? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
What's going on, man? It's B out of Detroit.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, I was calling to touch on the topic, man. I had a lot of different experiences with this type of stuff, dealing with different people in the family or friends. And I want to start off positive before I get into the negative. And I want to say that life is so precious. And I think a way to
widen the perspective or encourage people to get over the hill or get over the hurdle that they may be going through is just to appreciate every breath. Look inside of who you are, like biologically as a human being. We're so intricate. It takes so much for us to even get here, to be developed in the egg and then be born in a healthy manner. So just to appreciate the human body, I think will widen the perspective to help people appreciate themselves in life. Every breath is a blessing. The fact that we can take each step is a blessing. You know, there's people who can't walk. There's people who can't speak. There's people who can't breathe on their own. And I think just embracing and enjoying and appreciating the quote-unquote small things in life can help turn that tide, man. Can really help turn that tide. Taking a walk, appreciating nature, seeing the beauty in these things that the universe created. So I think that there's so many things to value in life that if one was to study those things and to look inside of themselves, that may encourage them to keep going and keep moving. And that's my advice as far as trying to get people to not do that or to not go down that route. You get what I'm saying, is that?
I do.
Yeah, because there's so much, man. There's so much to appreciate. Every little breath we got, bro. Every blink, every heartbeat. It takes so much for the human heart to even beat. Like, our bodies is such a high form of technology. It must be appreciated every day, every second, to motivate us to move on to the next day. And that's my take on the positive side of it. Now, on the negative side, Zach, I'm going to just be honest. I've been through things and I've been around people who have been down that road and threatened to delete themselves and things like that. And I've grown very, very cold, honestly. And the reason why is because I feel like adults, different from children, but adults who have that mindset are very dangerous. And I mean dangerous as if they said that they were going to do a homicide. I think the same energy that a person would do that to themselves, they're just as dangerous as somebody who would commit a homicide. And that's just my opinion. And so I think that it's something that really needs to be understood and looked at in that manner because it's real. I think adults who are suicidal are very dangerous. And honestly, some people, if they want to take themselves out, I don't encourage it. I encourage you to keep moving. But I have came to the reality that some people don't want to be here. And some people shouldn't be here, honestly. And so I try to cover it from both ends, the positive and the negative, and stay grounded in the reality that you can't save everybody. And some people were born to be losers, honestly. Everybody wasn't born to be a progressive person and a loving person. Some people were born to be losers. So I try to keep those things in mind, and I try to personally stay away from people like that, even if they're family members, because it's hard to deal with them. And they're very dangerous and very inconsiderate. So that's just my take on it, Zach. I hope I didn't come off too harsh, but that's my opinion on it. Try to appreciate the smaller, realer things in life, and I think that'll help motivate people to keep moving, man. Every breath, every heartbeat, bro.
Yeah, I totally resonate with what you're saying because I agree with all of it, and I've also become, colder, if you will, as just from living in this world. And again, I mean, people think like I'm joking, but like I'm not joking, you guys. I'm really not opposed to the Illuminati's depopulation plan because most people in this society are a complete joke. And again, just like I said, I just went into a room and they raised $1,000 in 20 minutes just talking about how they got a clip of a guy talking about how he found out his dad gave somebody else a blowjob. It's like, what kind of adults are these? Like, what a joke! What a joke of a population that we have. And again, I mean, it's just everywhere you look. I'm so disgusted with this society, and nothing's changed about that since 9/11. I've just seen how dumb and ignorant people are, and how they worship mediocrity and just like the shittiest stuff. And again, it's just like, I think we need a great reset in a major way. Like what was written on the Georgia Guidestones, yeah, please, let's see if we can actually have some odds without a society of lemmings. But at the same time, the people in this world that are like us, that commit suicide because they can't handle the darkness anymore, That's what I'd like to prevent. You know, there are people that deserve to live, and those are the people who see what's wrong and are trying to fight to do something about that. Almost everybody else, I wish I could drop the bomb on them, to be perfectly honest. So it might seem like a difficult perspective for some people to understand, but where I'm coming from is just from living in this world and seeing how pathetic the people are that are in it. And I know I'm not wrong saying that, because the majority of this country, this world, is full of pathetic people. But again, for the truth seekers, for the people whose hearts are in the right place, I'd encourage you guys to stick around. You know, like Allie out there who's threatening suicide and playing games right now, I'd encourage her to stick around, because I think ultimately, yeah, again, she's someone who sees what's wrong in the world. But anyway, you can go ahead if you got more to say.
What do you say, bro?
If you got any more to say, go ahead.
No, I just say I appreciate your time, man, and I definitely want to encourage anybody who's thinking about those things to really take a deep breath, appreciate that breath, take an exhale, appreciate that exhale, put your hand on your heart and appreciate that, because it's so hard to even stay alive. It's so hard to get here as a human being. The odds were against you. And so just appreciate all of these things, man. Look at people in this world who may be in worse conditions than you, and use that as motivation, not to shit on them or nothing like that, but just use that as a motivation.
Exactly. That's true. That's a good way to look at things when things are bad. There's always somebody who's a lot worse off than you. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you one more thing before I get off, Zach. When I'm sitting down, or if I don't want to work out or something like that, if I catch myself slipping, there's a few videos I always watch. There's videos of this buff black dude. He ain't got no legs at all. He ain't got no lower torso. But this dude be lifting weights and doing pull-ups and all types of stuff. And when I look at him and I say, this guy has no bottom half, he's getting his ass up here and running on his hands and doing pull-ups and bench pressing. Let me get my well-bodied ass in this gym and go hard. And that's what I mean. Sometimes we can look at things that's worse than we are and using this motivation to keep going. Because if that dude can work out and live his life with no bottom torso, you best believe I'm getting my ass in the gym and doing some push-ups and pull-ups. So that's my advice, Zach, man. We got to stay hard, stay stern as men, and don't waver. We got to make sure that we stay strong to push people in a proper way, in a progressive way. And if they're going the negative route, sometimes it's too much. You got to let go. But you hold on until you can't hold on no more. But I appreciate you, Zach, man.
All right, appreciate the words.
You did the Dwayne Wade video had me dying, dude. The bestie Zach had me dying. That shit was hilarious, man.
Well, and the guy that I'm mocking, see that guy that I'm mocking, like, honestly, I wish I had the power. If you guys remember what I was saying about Sweet Lady's mother or her grandmother and her father and how their words, they can make reality happen, like they can really manifest things. Like, I wish I had that power, because that guy that's doing that I'm making fun of, that guy is a human piece of shit, and if he's dead, the world is a better place. Everyone who's being persuaded by that guy, if they're all gone and dead, the world is a better place. These are the filth of the world who are keeping it in the shithole that it is. And again, I want people to understand where I'm coming from. This isn't all just like peaches and cream stream. This is understanding what I'm saying. Strong people who see what's wrong, you guys need to live on and be tough. Weak fucking losers, guys that want to plunder other people in the bud and they're jealous that they can't, we don't need you around. We don't need fucking filth. So anyway, appreciate the call, man. Thank you for all the wise words.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Respect, bro. I'll catch you later.
Thanks, man. Yeah, again, you guys, don't get it twisted, but I'm going to say exactly what I think. And if any of you think I'm wrong, call in and tell me where I'm wrong. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. 585, what's up?
Hey, Zach, it's Michael.
What's up, Michael?
Oh, not much. I'm just calling in. I had a couple, I was watching the stream. I'm watching the stream. We were talking about it, and my girlfriend was kind of like, she's been, all down in the dumps about, what she's got going on, because, with her surgery and stuff that she had to get, and I was telling you about it and all that. And she's just, with her being like diabetic and stuff, it's just kind of been a roller coaster with her lately, and I've just been trying to trying to be there for her. And she's kind of on that hill, like the suicide and all that. And I'm just trying to be there for her. And
well, you are there for her, and I know you're a great guy, so I'm sure you're a great support. And yeah, I mean, that's got to be a hard thing, going through a surgery and having to get toes cut off. But, I imagine if she perseveres, it might also be the encouragement to make changes in her life that are really positive. And, she's better off for it in the long run. So
right. I mean, also, I've had, my fair share of stuff going on. I've had to, the last couple of years, I had to get a couple of teeth removed because, when I was younger, I kind of regret it now, but when I was younger, I didn't really take good care of my teeth. But I've been, the last couple of years, I've had to get a couple removed. But I've been just been dealing with that. But other than that, I've been pretty, healthy for the most part, and just
yeah, exactly. You learn from your mistakes. So yeah, sorry for your sweet lady and what she's going through, and just keep being a good emotional support. And there are ways to correct diabetes through nutrition. So maybe,
right.
Maybe
that's what I tell her too. There's ways to get her, to correct it and get around it, and you just gotta, her stepfather is, he dealt with the same thing with, he had diabetes, and he doesn't have any more because he made changes in his life, and he's doing better now. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
All right, Michael. Well, I hope things get better for her soon, and yeah, if you can help aid her in eating better and doing the research on how to correct the health problem right now, I'm sure in a matter of time, it could end up being a blessing in disguise. So,
for sure. All right. Well, thank you for taking my call, Zach.
All right, Michael. Have a good one, buddy.
You too, man.
Yeah. Take care. 407.
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so on this topic, I just wanted to mention, I know we already talked about this, but we all know what the source of this is. It's the media and what they push, and all about emasculating men. And it's a little different for women because we know that women are naturally more emotional and more in tune with their feelings. But for men, we know that every day is, part of their program is to, weaken men because they know that men are, physically stronger. And if they can get the mental, then that's going to make everything easier for them. So for my only message is that, people need to get out of their feelings because everything that you say is a fact. And if you don't like it, you can easily, you could close out the streams, get unsubscribe. It's not hard. Nobody's stopping you. But the people who don't like what you're saying, which everything you say is fact, if it hurts your feelings, no one is stopping you from leaving. But you continue to watch something that you don't like, which to me makes no sense at all.
Exactly. These people are losers. These people that do this are losers who complain about what's on somebody's YouTube channel. It's how big of a fucking loser are you? There's 1 million different YouTube channels. You don't have to be watching any of them. Move the fuck on. And that's why, again, you guys, when I rant, there is a group of people I'm ranting at. The world does not need any more fucking losers. There's no shortage of fucking losers. There's a huge glut. It's a huge problem. They're dragging us all to hell. But then again, there are good people who are suffering because they live in this world of fucking losers and it's weighing down on them. Those are the people I'm doing this stream for who need to persevere. Everybody else, again, you have all the permission and encouragement for me to get it over with. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I agree with you when you say these people, we need to get rid of these people because what are you providing? Even there's people in the chat who don't make videos, who don't do anything. They just say and they consume the information, they better themselves, they spread the knowledge to other people. Those people are more useful than the people here who are bashing the information, and there's no argument against the information either. So like, if all you do is make videos going against this, which is trying to stop the programming, like, what is your value? Like, you're worse than the people who are pushing this programming because you're trying to push it further. You know what I'm saying? So like, when you talk about, oh, this person needs to die, this person needs to get rid of themselves, I mean, what argument is there against that? Like, what else are they providing to anybody? They're just pushing people back in into the programming that the Jesuits want. So like, I'm 100% with you. I mean, for Allie, she is a woman, so she's a little bit more emotional. But I mean, I just had to unsubscribe from her, and because she can't see like what's happening. Like you said, like the stream yesterday, or I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, where she had all the trolls together, like running a troll chaos drama stream. Like, I noticed that's her streams that are like that are the ones that get the most views, because I mean, people like drama, but I mean, what is she promoting with that? Like the other stream as well, with the illusion, where she invited you and you two were on there like arguing. She was just there like smiling and laughing like she wanted it. So to me, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. Like when you posted on Twitter to follow her, get to 1,000 followers, I did that, to help her out, thinking she was, someone good, someone nice. And like, I'm sorry, I just had to unfollow after, her constant streams, just promoting more drama, bringing up old drama. And to me, it seems like she enjoys it, because I see her expressions and her facial, and when people are arguing, she's just, she's smiling. So, I mean, I don't know what her intentions are, but that's pretty much all I want to say. But I do agree with you when you say there are people who, suffer from real issues, and those people are the ones that, they do need to get the proper help. But for anyone else who's like promoting, or trying to go against what you're saying and the research, those people do need to get rid of themselves, because, they're not providing anything to anybody. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember it right now. But yeah, I just want to say appreciate your work, Zach. I do appreciate Charm the One as well. I don't know why anyone would ever go against Charm the One. Even if she doesn't show herself. I mean, she doesn't want to show herself, but what bad has she ever done? I haven't seen anything bad that she's done. She only promotes people. She only helps the chat. She moderates the chat properly. She gives people a chance. Like, even the trolls, she doesn't ban trolls immediately. She gives people a chance, speak their mind. So, I don't know. And for Ali, she doesn't like Itachi, then deal with that with Itachi. It's like she's coming to you as, like, sort of the parent of Itachi. Like, you should reprimand him or something. Like, Itachi's his own person. If you don't like him, just block him. Easy. I mean, what else is there to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, and I told them both. I said, if you guys don't like each other, just ignore each other and just move on. So.
Yeah, I mean, this has become like a playground back and forth. Like, he said, she said. Oh, I'm telling on you. I'm not your friend anymore. Like, we're all grown, so this should not be, a topic at all. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. For anyone who's dealing with suicide or anything serious like that, I do have thoughts for you, and there are places for help for that. So those people do need the attention that they deserve. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah, I mean, people's obsession with drama is, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a learned behavior, since we're, that's kind of what media does, right? The media is constantly focusing on negativity and drama and stuff that's really beside the point and not helpful to anyone, but that's what people are used to watching. I know that anytime, my topics are more drama-oriented, they tend to get more views than the average video. There tends to be more donations. Do a good live stream full of knowledge and information. That always seems to be a pretty low draw these days. But, yeah, and again, just like I said, I literally just watched a guy make $1,000 in 20 minutes just talking about how he has proof that another guy's father sucked another man's cock. And it's just like, wow, this is an adult topic. This reminds me, like, my dad's cooler than your dad. I mean, it reminds me of kindergarten. But I don't know. I see it all the time, too. It's just, I can't figure out what's wrong with humanity. That they hate the truth. They worship mediocrity. Streams like that. Not funny at all. Not entertaining. Just totally lame. Totally low vibration. But yet the dollars pour in. So, and you know what I did? Yeah, I just turned off the stream. The only reason I was watching the channel was because they have debates on there, and this wasn't a debate. It was just, I got this piece of information, and oh my God. So it was actually about Owen Benjamin's dad, for the record. But and that doesn't surprise us, right? I mean, the guy's from Hollywood, and we know what goes on in Hollywood. We know that behavior starts the first day of the circumcision in the synagogue, but that's another topic. So, but yeah, the other thing that annoys me about these streams is I know that the people who are out there watching right now are the same people who've been crying online about the rants I've gone on about suicide, but then they don't even have any balls to call in and talk about it, you know? They'd rather go over there and hang out with Lispy Guy now. They're friends with Lispy Guy. So, again, you guys, and that's why I'll continue to go on the rants I'll go on. And so don't really expect anything to change in my dialogue, but I will address the topic. And this is mostly being done out of respect for the queen of drama at this given moment in the community. Because, again, you know, I mean, she did say last night that, you know, she hopes she dies soon to teach the whole community a lesson for going against her. And it's just like, I can't believe she feels this way. It's like, don't you see that you kind of like brought this on yourself? I mean, I gave you all the right advice all along the way. You continue to ignore it, and now you're blaming me. You know, it's just... But yeah, again, you can't... Again, if somebody in your life ever commits suicide, they're probably... I mean, maybe there was something you could have done to help them, but ultimately that was their decision, so... What's up, D.R. Wright?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
How you doing, man?
Tuning into the stream. I might be a little bit behind. It's always a lag on it. I'm calling in on the topic. Obviously, it's about, and you know, you're doing the video for Allie, you know, which we all know what time it is. We all can see and sense narcissistic behavior when, you know, when we see it. And the United States did a good job of creating a bunch of narcissists, and a lot of people got very angry yesterday in the chat about the American-minded woman that I was talking about. So I wanted to clarify that one up. I'm not talking about all women, obviously. I mean, you knew that, and a lot of other people did, but there's this handful of people that are supposed to be awakened and watch your channel that, I mean, I mean, we shouldn't even have to explain ourselves. We're not talking about every single American woman in America, because I'm also talking about women that aren't American, that are in America, that have been Americanized. All right, I was with one of them, so I just wanted to clear that up real quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. And as far as the Alice thing, I didn't see it, but you just said it, that she said she wants to commit suicide. That woman is a straight narcissist. I mean, that's what they do. They're just crying out for attention. We all know the cat's out the bag. She wanted you. The rejection is obvious. And who even knows if she truly wants to do gematria? She probably only wanted all that to get to you. And once she got a hold of you, try to control you and, you know, be side by side with you and doing doing gematria. You know what I mean? I mean, you could just, a lot of people in the chat, they could see it. I could see it. I mean, these are true traits of a narcissistic woman. And I actually said this exact same thing yesterday, that you will be hearing more from her. And here's one of them. Oh, I want to die. I want to commit suicide. I want to teach everybody a lesson, or whatever she said. I don't have a clue, but hey, she wanted to say that. Of course, nobody wishes that, but this is just what they do. They're crying out for attention. Pity me, feel sorry for me, and, you know, I want to be the center of attention. And, I mean, this woman is toxic. This woman have unfortunately embodied the energy that I talk about every damn day, and this is a result of being in that negative, low vibration ass energy. And she's just going through it, man. She's definitely going through it, and, you know, comes out of it, you know, but Like I said, man, she looks like a woman, talks like a woman, sounds like a woman, Zach, and everybody watch it, but that's not a goddamn woman. Sorry. It's just not a woman, you know? And people do better.
And by that you mean like essentially she's a child is what you're saying.
No, I mean, not just some shit that was created, you know? I mean, we're MK mind control, whatever you want to call it, the program. This is something created, man, out of an ideology, you know, that some of these women get into, you know, and they act like, you know, you could say a child, but these are narcissistic tendencies. Exactly what she's doing is right on the line of of what narcissists do. And the United States has created a lot of narcissistic men and women, you know, and, you know, this is what we're seeing. Like, I already knew that was going to happen, Zach. She's going to attack you, and then there's going to be pity on her, and then she's going to come back, and then there's going to be sorry, and then she's going to fall off and fade away because you don't have no interest in her. You know, we all know what the objective was, to get you. You know, she starts slandering your woman. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you still give her credit. That credit been out the window with me, so I'll say it, you know, for you. You know, she got to get the no energy treatment. Just leave it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, I hope she gets herself together. But as far as you got to cut that energy off, man, because it's toxic and it's affecting the community. She's sucking in a lot of other people over to her crap with that I can cry on cue, just like the liberals. I mean, it's I can't stand watching. That's why I'm calling in, because I see this too much. Like in a lot of people that I know, lives that I help, that go through shit with women like this. I mean, I see it way too much, man. You know, bless you. So I just wanted to, you know, call in and, you know, kind of touch on that whole point with this Allie. I mean, who even is she? I don't know. You met her before. Like I said, women will do some crazy shit just to meet you. Like I said, I think that is more of she just wants to, you know, obviously she wants to get with you. She called you a celebrity the other day. She looks up to you. And when you turned her down and when you blocked her, she went, you know, she went 0 to 100, went crazy. And then she had a troll show, brought all the trolls on. Then when you came on, I could see her glowing. She enjoyed the trolls trashing you. That was her like revenge. Like, this is crazy, man. You know, it's like if you guys were in a relationship, she would be out there cheating on all your friends and then coming back home. You know, that's what it would be like. You know, so
yeah, there are women that are like that.
I appreciate the stream, and you know, as far as like people committing suicide and like all these feelings and emotions. Listen, Zach, you already know I'm right with you on that. We are at war, and we are at a point in time where we don't have time for feelings, emotions, and bullshit and bitches. Bitches meaning people acting like bitches, and I'm not talking about bitches, females, and all that. I'm just talking about men, women, whoever, just being little bitches in society. We need people with heart. We need people with courage, strength, understanding, logic, reasoning. I mean, it's literally crazy, and this is how nature works. Everything on an organism doesn't benefit that organism. Shout out to the previous callers. Some of them already said it. There's weak people, right? There's weak people, and in nature, what happens to the weak? We already know they get slaughtered.
Survival of the fittest.
When a female has babies, when there's a weak one, she pushes that shit to the side and lets it die. I mean, the father will eat the weakling of a litter, you know, shit like that, man. And people got to understand, man, we come from nature. You know, people got all caught up in all these different ideology, but we got to bring shit back to balance. I mean, it is what it is. Hey, some people are here in the fucking way. I mean, it is what it is. I see it every fucking day. I look at people like, how does this person even make it this far? You know? I mean, there's people who just throw their life away. I mean, it's unfortunate, but some people you can't help. And these are the things that are not beneficial to the organism. What is the organism? Humanity, Earth. I mean, there's people here, just like you said. I mean, at this point, I don't blame these psychopaths.
I don't either. That's the one place I agree. It's like they realize they created a society of fucking losers. I mean, what's your percentage? What in your life experience? What percentage of society are fucking losers?
Zach, if you were to see the shit that I see in the daytime, it'll blow your fucking mind. It's pretty much every fucking body.
That's why I say 90%. It's like 90% of the society is a fucking joke. I mean, their whole grocery cart's full of Coca-Cola, donuts. It's like, do you not see that you're a fat fucking slob? Do you think I mean, what the fuck? You got these fat fucking kids? I mean, you guys, it might sound mean, but it's like, what kind of fucking losers is this person gonna raise? Look at this family of fucking losers. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. So.
It is, and it's sad. But I mean, we can only do what we can do, and there is some people that I see that I'm like, okay, I get it. They're just in a fucked up rut, a situation. But there's people that are willfully, they know what they're doing, and they just don't even give a fuck, because you could try to talk to them, and they'll tell you, man, I don't want to hear that, man. I just want to go home and watch the game and get this. I want to get my drink on, and what they don't even try to listen. Those are the fucking. This is the problem, man. You understand where we're at in this point in time, and it's even like my barber last night. You know, I mean, he listened to what I say, and he's trying. He's going through some shit too, but even my barber is like going through all this shit. I'm like, it's because of the choices you're making, man. Like, I mean, when are you gonna get it? When is the flock gonna get it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, they're never gonna get it. And at this point, they're fucking it up for everybody. All these people that are just brain dead are fucking it up for everybody. I mean, which look at when COVID hit. What we all had to go stock up because the flock was panicking and fucking panic buying and shit.
The TV told them that it's going to cause a toilet paper shortage. It's like, how the fuck does that even make sense? Then everyone's buying toilet paper. They're brawling in the store over toilet paper. Well, I still, the funniest thing, one of my favorite memories of COVID is when we had people come out to Seattle Friday, March 13th, 2 days after the pandemic was declared, around in front of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Here comes out the Indian guys with their grocery sacks with like 5,000 fucking rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And Big Al goes to him, he goes, hey, you guys want to know what's so funny about coronavirus and toilet paper? And these Indian guys are like, we don't need to know anything from you. It's like, these fucking idiots.
We all couldn't understand the toilet paper thing. Me personally, I'm like, I mean, if society's collapsing, I mean, just get a fucking rag and water, wipe your goddamn ass. You don't got to waste all that space and time and money on fucking toilet paper. I mean, how stupid.
Or it's like, just learn some fucking gematria. Toilet paper equals coronavirus equals Anthony Fauci equals fuck you. I mean, it's just, that was the whole joke of it. They're going to print all this money shit. Exactly. Your asshole, making people look like dumb assholes. Again, it's just.
It was their sign that was their sign that said, look at this shit here. Because I was out at the stores looking at all the medicine lines like, okay, there's a pandemic, but all the medicine is full and all the toilet paper's gone. I said, these fucking people these psychopaths see this, they're going to run with this. They're like, look at how dumb these fucking people are. We can run this shit now. They're buying toilet paper. We just said it's a pandemic. And I mean, that was like their flag to go with this shit. That was like their okay, we got them this time, I mean, it is crazy, man. And like I always say, man, society is what is going to bring us down. Is each other, the motherfuckers with all the feelings, emotions, and all this other shit. The people that are all around us, those are the people that are going to bring us down because they're fucking ignorance. They're not going to do shit. They're going to continue to sit, wait for Jesus, or sit and wait for whatever the fuck, and just I mean, it is what it is, man. So. I just had to call and, voice my opinion and, hopefully people understand, man. I mean, we do this shit because we see and understand the desperation. I mean, I see it so much off the internet and on the internet. It's more worse than we actually think it is because a lot of us are, tuned in to the fucking internet watching YouTubes and shit all fucking day claiming to be awake but not watching what's going on outside of us. I mean, it's 100 times worse. When you actually go outside, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, you think people are dumb from the fucking watching the TV and the news. Go out in public and watch how fucking stupid these people are. I mean, the shit you see will blow your fucking mind.
Lincoln Karam.
Huh?
Lincoln Karam, the guy who came out from New York that documents what's going on in New York City at the time of the pandemic.
Yeah, Lincoln, yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job of documenting.
Oh, yeah, he shows all that shit, yeah. He definitely does. You know, but it really is crazy, man. And as far as the whole suicide shit, I mean, people are just, I mean, goddamn, just turn Zach off if you don't like Zach. You know, turn me off. Don't listen to me. Skip this part or whatever. I mean, who cares? When we don't like something, we just simply don't pay no attention. I mean,
That's what you would think. That's what you would think.
I know. I mean, it's I don't even understand. Like I said, we're living in the fucking upside down for real. And only a few of us understand what the fuck is even going on. I mean, there's even people here in the chat that are here, but really don't even know what the fuck's going on. Don't even understand what's going on, you know? And I mean, it just is, man. It really it is frustrating because I see all the same shit that you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of other people see it too. You know, shout out to everybody who sees it, man. Much love to y'all. Keep seeing it. You know, don't stop. You know what I mean? And you know, there is people that are down and out, and we're not talking about those people that are down and out contemplating suicide. We're talking about the you know, just the fucking total, you know, idiots that just don't give a fuck about nothing. I mean, they're already dead anyway. They're walking dead, but they're alive. I mean, these people, I mean, most of humanity right now isn't even operating on their own thoughts and emotions and feelings or anything. They're just fucking human, artificially unintelligent beings that just go along with the system. You know, I always told people I never got into the whole transhumanism, fucking robot AI, because they don't need to waste fucking metal and wires when they already got walking flesh and blood fucking artificial intelligence. They don't need to waste any metal. They could save that shit for their electric cars. They got disposable, expandable, dumbass fucking human beings, and most of them are in America. So,
Indeed.
but I'll let some other callers come in, Zach. But as far as that Allie, I hope she's listening. That is a narcissist, and she needs to be put in her place. And you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of women that have that mentality.
She's another person, though, that was good for so long and then just fell off. Like, I don't even know how to put it. I mean, Chigozi did the same thing.
If you look at, you know, I mean, she is into that love and light bullshit. And this is what happens. It's darkness. It's not love and light. It's that false light, and they're operating in darkness. And this is why they all get caught up. It's a lot of people that get caught up in that shit, thinking they're all, you know, love and energy and stones and crystals and vibrations. Yeah, man, you guys are worshiping the same shit that you think you're against because they put that shit out there for you to play with it. And I see it way too much, man. And I argue with fucking people and debate people all day long on the fucking internet, you know, with that shit, you know, and it's all the same energy. That's why I could call it out, see it, and know it the minute I sniff it out, you know. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. She didn't get her way. Now she's just pouting like a big baby and being a narcissist. I mean, you know, and like I said, it's these American-minded women that I'm talking about. Huge fucking problem. A lot of people that have went through shit, you know, like, you know, I don't want to, you know, names, but other brothers that, you know, we've been reaching out and telling people to show some love. They all been dealing with the same type of energy in these women, you know. And, you know, some people are homeless behind of it, you know. Shit, when I split up with mine, just so everybody knows, I was homeless. Not really, but I technically was. Hey, I'll leave all my shit. I don't give a fuck about possession. I'll leave everything and just get it all back. I don't care. But yes, even I was homeless, you can say. Because, you know, that's what women do. They want everything. So you know what? When you split up with these narcissistic women, you leave, you give them everything. There's no argument. Don't give them no energy. Yeah, you have that. Take the kids. I'll fight my way. You know, can I see the kids? Nope. All right. You'll never see them again. Fuck you, motherfucker. Okay. Then I got to go my way. You know, a lot of us, this is advice for people, and I don't mean to keep going, but a lot of us create our own stress, agony, and pain by giving shit energy. You know you're dealing with a toxic woman. Leave the motherfucker alone. Don't give it any energy. You know they're going to play all the games, you know? And shout out to Will. He actually used this shit, and it actually worked. And he still thanks me for this to this day. And my son went through some things with his woman, and they're no longer together. And guess what? No energy works, guys. You don't give them shit, no energy, nothing. Only give them energy if they give you energy. You do not do it because you're only hurting yourself. You know how we all get into arguments with our girlfriends or our boyfriends or our husbands, wife, whatever it is, and we're like, fuck that, I'm going to ignore them. And then end up, they don't respond to you, and then you end up sending a text or calling them, and then they don't respond, and you get more mad, or they reject you, and then you get more mad and down and sad. Guess what? Don't give them no energy. Let them contact you, and if they don't, guess what? It's that old saying, let the dove fly. If it comes back, it was meant to be. That's it. This I teach to a lot of people. And guess what? Those that follow it, it works. Because we're creating our own pain because we're using our energy in the wrong way. And another thing is, if you want that woman in your dreams or that man in your dreams, clear your space. That means get that fuck motherfucker out of your life, whoever is, totally, and cut their energy off. Watch what comes into your life. Whatever you're looking for and wanting will be right back into your lap, and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe what I got now. Because you have to clear your space for the energy to come in. And a lot of people don't understand how this works, but we are masters of our own universe with our own energy. We just have to learn how to move your energy, clear out the space. Wow, the shit, it's guaranteed to happen, And you have to be receptive to know, because some people will do that also, and they'll be thinking about the other person, which will still be keeping that space. But you got to totally, meditate, get them out, get a hobby and just no energy. It really does work, guys. And, it's very hard. I do know it's hard. It's hard to write that text and then not hit send. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to do that. But when you do that, give it no energy, watch how better you feel. And then they'll respond to you. 90% of the time, they'll respond to you. And of course, don't ignore them because you want to move that energy. You never ignore. Don't argue. If they say negative stuff, say, sorry. Look, man, at the end of the day, I love you. That's it. Don't feed it. Don't feed the negative energy. Watch that shit disappear, man.
Sure. Well, here. How would you evaluate this? Again, it's just like last night I look at the phone and Allie's texted after the stream that she wants to die soon and she wants the community to feel guilty for what's happened to her. And I just run it back. I said, listen, Allie, you have a long life ahead of you.
That is a narcissist. What that is.
But here's what I texted back.
I want you, Zach, to feel bad because I feel bad right now because you rejected me. So I want you to feel bad. And then I want you to feel guilty because this is your community. Remember, Zach, I told you, you're the head of Gematria. So if I die, I want the whole community to feel bad and it's going to be all pointed. That's narcissist shit. That's all narcissist shit. That's what she's just reaching out because she got rejected by you. So this is what a lot of women do. A lot of women will use the kids. If you had anything established with Allie, like say you guys created some type of thing in Gematria. Oh, that shit, if you guys, just say you guys created a website together and then Allie had access to it, Zach, the minute you fell out with her, that goddamn website will be, you would be redirected to a porn site. She would sabotage that shit. This is a narcissist.
Well, and it's not just women in the community. I mean, that's like who Richard Quinn is, too. I mean, Richard Quinn tried to do that exact thing with the website we have, and I see he's on making mopey videos last night. It's just like, I mean, it's just, it's amazing.
It's narcissistic energy. I mean, the United States have put this in men and women. And it is people can't control their emotions, feelings, and energy, and they're going to, and this is the sabotage. This is how families are destroyed. This is how relationships are destroyed. Businesses are destroyed. Partnerships are destroyed. They know what they've done, and this happens. I mean, when I split up with all my exes, shit, they want to destroy my entire fucking reality. I've lost a lot of shit messing with women. They want everything, kids, finance, I mean, everything. Like, this is just what it is. You know, and so many other men and women go through this shit because there's men that do this to women too. They don't want to see the woman with another guy. They'll stalk them. They'll try to fuck them up. They'll do all kinds of shit. Them the ones I feel sorry for. And then there's men that go through this shit too from a woman who, okay, they split up for whatever reason, but she wants to destroy his life. She don't want to see him with anyone. They don't want, I mean, it's just a destruction of life. Like, they'd rather see you dead. That would make them happy. That's a narcissist, man. You know, that is a narcissist. You know, when you know when it's not a narcissist, when they can let go and they can come to common ground and say, you know what, well, you know, whatever relationship it is, even if it's friend on friend, look, man, you know, we got our differences. I'm over here, you're over here. It's all love. You know, that's real man shit. That's real man and woman shit. That's really how a relationship is supposed to end. It's supposed to be, all right, look, man, whatever happened, it is what it is. And, you know, hey, you fucked me over or I fucked you over. Let's move on. And I'm over here, you over there. You know, that's how it should be done, man, you know. And, you know, as far as Allie texts you, look, right after the stream, boom, she feeling some type of way. You know, she feeling this rejection. She's going to be going through this for a while. Plus, she's dabbling in low vibrational entities from all these trolls. So she got a lot in her. She got a lot built up in her. You know, she think it's all love coming from these trolls. These trolls is energy, these, whatever you want to call it, demons, whatever. They want to feed off her energy because she's going at you. She's in the middle. It's like a big bag of bullshit energy, and she was the catalyst, and it was going to explode. And this is what we're seeing. You know what I mean? And I would say no energy. Let her come to her own conclusions. You know, by giving her energy, even this right here is filling her soul, that void. Remember, her name is void, has void in it for a reason. I pick up on these things. She has a void in her, all right, of darkness. And she's filling all these voids. You were one of them. You know, the trolls going at you is another void she's filling. She's empty. She said she grew up. I forgot what she said, something about she grew up. She's got a whole lot of shit going on with her, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, I could tell, hey, there wasn't a man somewhere in her life. I can guarantee that. If he was working all the goddamn time. But I already know there was not no man in the house. Daddy's little girl wasn't Daddy's little girl. He wasn't around. So, you know, I'm just being real. You know, you and I, we come from the era where we keep shit real. You know what I'm saying? We keep it all the way real. And it just is what it is. If she takes offense to that or anybody else, hey, that's just what it is. You just don't want to face the fire, you know?
Okay, so here, let me ask you it this way. She texted you last night that she wants to die now and she wants the community to feel responsible for her death. Do you respond back or do you just ignore it or what do you do?
I would have just said, look, there is no issues. I said, you know, you go your way, I'm going to go my way. I don't want to feed into any of this. Get yourself some help. At the end of the day, you're a good person. Boom, I'm done with it. You know? I mean, you got a woman, you shouldn't even be dealing with this shit. You got a real woman. And you know, me and you know what I'm talking about. You got a real woman. You shouldn't even be dealing with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You should not be dealing with that. You got your own life. You know, people don't understand. Zach, you got a life too. Zach the agent, you know, you got May, your handler, you got a life. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your handler happy. You know, that's what they say. You know, I'm joking.
Right. No,
Zach,
I get
you
it.
got a life. You know what I'm saying? So you got to live your life also, but you got this whole other internet shit. This one thing you don't need to deal with.
Sure. And by the way, just with regards to May last night, I didn't realize how the mic was picking up when she got home. She was mad when she got home, not at me. She was mad at work. She was mad at work.
I heard. We all heard. We heard she was talking about somebody at work, and you know, I could tell that she was upset. But you know,
just about that point though, it's like if you do have like negative people that are ruining your day, like I mean,
it leaks. You see how that energy moves, like. Your wife was kind of like she came home upset at something. It wasn't you, but this energy will move like that. People don't understand this energy. Like you're in it and you're bathing in it and you're surrounded in it. This alley girl, this shit will leak into your relationship, man. And And people don't understand how this energy moves, you know? I mean, it just is what it is. There's a dark energy here, dark matter, whatever you want to call it. It embodies souls, man. I mean, unfortunately, Allie's got it. All out of the, you know, all these people caught up with these trolls who are true entities, you know, got caught with them. And, you know, I mean, it just is what it is, man. You know, half the people that hate you don't even know why they hate you because, oh, Zach just talks too much shit. Well, grow some balls, take the good, leave the bad, you know? I mean, I don't even understand that, you know? But, yeah, I mean, this whole Allie thing, you know, I mean, this is just a narcissist. I mean, will she do anything to herself? Hey, we hope not. But that ain't none of our fault. I mean, and this goes back to all the people who was upset when I was talking about man shit and woman shit. Their shit women shouldn't be doing, and all this revolutionary shit and whatever you want to call it. This is a prime example because look what the fuck's going on. That woman can't handle this shit. Self-destruct. I mean, this shit comes. I mean, look at what we got to deal with. Men are supposed to be doing shit like this, you know? And I know a lot of women that are out there fighting. You know, here in Rochester, you know, you've seen the videos where I've been out there with all the nurses, and I'm just amazed. And I ask, where the fuck's y'all husbands at? Oh, he's at work or he's home. I'm like, the women are out there fighting. You know, and I get it. We're in a fucked up ass time. But at the end of the day, man, a woman shouldn't be out there doing this shit because when the shit gets thick, the women ain't going to be out there. You know, when the shit gets real, the women can't be out there, you know, fighting. Men gonna have to put their sports down and fucking paint their faces with some goddamn war paint and get busy, you know? I mean, this shit is ridiculous. But these are things that I was talking about, how when you know, all this masculine energy, feminine energy, I mean, she wants to be into gematria, but she's crying, she can't, she's all emotional, she wants to get with you. I mean, what the fuck? Move to the back. Learn Gemat, do whatever you want to do to help out. This is fucking war. You know what I'm saying? You can't even handle this. You can't even handle it. Like, this is crazy. Like, you can't even. This is a prime example what we're seeing of how society have done us. We're seeing it play out just in the reality of, you know, Zach's world. You know what I'm saying? We are seeing it. These are examples. These are lessons. This is like school. This is teaching. All right, you know, people should be watching out for all this shit. You know, so when I'm talking about the women and this energy and all this other shit, I'm talking about this mindset, this Americanized woman mindset of, oh, the powerful woman, I'm the independent woman, or I can do whatever a man can do. No, the fuck you can't. Prime example. She wants to be like you, Zach, with this gematria shit, and look it, already cracked. You know, and the student is now going after the teacher. Fuck kind of shit is that?
It's just weird how people have fallen off in recent time period. They're all being instigated by the same person who we know is the lispy troll who hides his face.
Yeah, I mean, we know what that is. That's a liberal, probably wears a fucking diaper. He's probably a fat fuck, like I see, probably a big ass 6'5" fat fuck that wears a small mask on his face. I mean, that's exactly what that is. A fucking liberal. You know what I mean? What else can they be? They're not about truth and honest. What are they doing?
It's just like, but the thing is, like, okay, so like Allie was doing a great job for 3 years, and then all of a sudden she just falls apart like in an instant. Chigozi's been, I don't know, 5 years, and then just like mostly falls off the bus.
They ushered in this energy. People don't understand. When we saw Biden come on fucking TV, do a straight ritual, divide half the fucking country. They ushered in some energy, and a lot of division happened right after that. People don't see shit like that. And that's when all these people started turning on you and just going the other way. And I'm like, I've seen it in people that I rock out with started turning on me. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? What the hell is going on? People in real life start flipping and turning. I'm like, what is going on? It's because at that time of whatever the planets lined up or whatever the fuck was going on, a lot of division came through. A lot of people were breaking up in the relationships. I was helping so many people. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is everybody fighting right now? Everybody has had a lot of this energy was ushered in, and energy moves. It's going to embody people. And this is another thing that I always tell people. hold on, because I'm on a highway. I'm about to miss this exit. Hold on. This is one other thing that I tell people. The reason why you see all this gay shit and all this masculine energy, feminine energy, is because they've stripped the energies from the man and the woman, the male and the female. And we all know, we're all awake. We all know about energy. We all claim we know this shit, but energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So when this energy has been, when this energy has been pulled out of the man, the masculine pulled out of the man, and the feminine pulled out of the woman, the shit don't go to the abyss, to the void. The shit floats around and it embodies a fucking man or a woman. So what do you think happens for people who are weak, whose souls have been broken down by this same society? We all think we understand witchcraft, magic, and sorcery, but we don't have a fucking clue. That energy has to go somewhere. So you got masculine going into feminine. You got feminine going into masculine. This is why you're seeing bitch men. This is why you're seeing butch ass women and shit. I mean, I ain't got no problem with any kind of sexism, nothing like that. But I'm just telling you what it is. When I see in my own town a fucking pride parade go from a street to now 2 months, and an entire half a fucking city coming out, from people from little children to 80-year-old men and women holding hands and shit, that is 100% proof. Because it's people that I've seen for years, all of a sudden are gay now. So this energy is just embodying different people, men, women, and this is what we're seeing. It's why it's all mixed up. That's why it's spreading so fast. When it gets warm out, when you guys are out in public, look around at all the gay shit, all the men that turn more feminine this year, all the women that turn more masculine. This is what is going on. People don't understand that shit. Energy never dies. It only transforms. So they done stripped these feminine and masculine energies out of us. They just embody and doubling up. That's all that's happening, you know? So like when you see these people turn with these bitch tendencies, I see it too. I'm cool with some of it. It is what it is. But it's like, yo, like they don't embody this energy. Like, wow. You know, I sit there and I look at it. I'm like, man, this shit is crazy. Even you, Zach, you sit there looking dumbfounded half the time because you can't believe it. And it goes for the negativity, the positivity, all these different energy fields that we got. I mean, it's just what's going on, man. It's a great separation. And it's good that you're doing this video on top of that because, you know, we need to be separated. These weak fucking people, just like you keep saying, need to move the fuck on. Like you can only hold somebody's hands so long. I mean, I do this in my own life when I'm helping people. I'm like, look, man, I can't fucking help you no more, man. You got to help yourself now. Big boy pants. You got to do it. And I had to do that to a certain somebody, you know, as of late that we know. And it's like, yo, no, did way too fucking much. Help yourself, man. You know? And they actually did help themselves. And I felt a lot better. Like they came through. Okay, that's good. You know, and this is just what we got to do, man. You know? And people got to realize and take control of their fucking being and then take control of their life. You know? I mean, a lot of people got these problems because they just can't take control of themselves. The system has them, meaning mentally. So it's going to fuck up your physical, you know, and then you're going to be fucked up, stressed, in a bad situation. You can't get out of the rut, you know. You got to fix yourself, man. It always resides in you first, overcoming your own demons. We got to get the demons, that same energy be getting in us. We got to push that shit out. You know, there's times that, you know, I'll like get mad at somebody. I'm like, fuck, why don't I just get mad at them? You know, because sometimes I'll be frustrated, you know, and I gotta, hold on, that's just me. You know, that's my fault. Let me go apologize. I'm like, my bad. I was frustrated yesterday and, you know, I let it out on you. I mean, I know I'm ranting a little bit, Zach, but hopefully a lot of people get what I'm saying. You know, one of the things was the other day I got pulled over and I let the cop fucking have it, you know? But I did it with logic and reasoning, and he even understood. And when he came back, after he gave my identification card back, I was like, when he comes back with my ID, I'm gonna apologize to him because I'm upset at society. I'm like, this motherfucker. Basically, real quick, Zach, is I was driving. The fucking cop was behind me. I'm out near my house, and he's just following me. Then he passes me, speeds past me. Then he slows down, gets back behind me, and then he pull me over. And then I go to the grocery store, and I'm like telling my boys with me, my girls with me. I'm like, this motherfucker probably gonna be waiting for me when I get out. And we was in the fucking store for 45 minutes. Okay, we get in the car, I leave, and I see the fucking cop pull out. I'm like, this motherfucker about to pull me over? So I wanted to gap him, meaning I wanted to put a car in the space of me and him. So I waited for a car to come, and then I turned out so a car will be in between me and him just to see. So, and then I kept seeing him veering over into the other lane to see if I'm going straight. And as soon as I turn on my street, he pulls me the fuck over. Now, why was I upset? Because I sit there and record people stealing out of all the stores out there. But this motherfucker is doing a traffic stop, stalking me. And I even told him that, and then I'm actually going to upload the video to my channel. We literally talked for like a half hour about life, about what's going on in society. And I've had these conversations with a lot of cops lately. They're on our team. Like all that auditing crazy, we even talked about auditing and shit. The unnecessary auditing. There's education auditing, but then there's stupid fucking auditing. The police are on our side. As much as we hate the police, I don't fuck with the police either, but we need them, and there are cool cops out here. This cop that pulled me over was cool as fuck, especially when you could tie their hands together and they can't really do anything to you. They're even cooler, but that's a whole nother story. But they are on our side, I've talked to enough of them to know they know what's going on, And we even agreed on the divide, the TV. They make us hate them. They make them hate us. They agreed. The cop was cool. He didn't even want to leave. He's like, oh, what's your YouTube channel? Not like slick trying to, see, but he actually wanted to know something. He talked for like a half hour. I got the whole video and everything. He knew I was recording everything. So, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but people need to hear this shit, man, and get their fucking acts together, man. And I thank you for doing these streams, Zach, because, these are powerful streams because they build people up. Believe it or not, even though you got all this hate, you are building a lot of people up. The callers yesterday, they're all on the same page. They can see it. A lot of our brothers and sisters in the chat, they know what the fuck time it is. I wish more people would call in, and so more people, like faces we see names we see in the chat, chatting all the time. Wish they would call in so we could hear their voice, and maybe that'll spark the next person, that don't comment to start commenting, and they call in. It just needs to be engaging, man, and networking,
Indeed.
So, yeah, man. But I know it was a lot, and it's just so much, man. And when you do a lot of these type of videos, it's the same shit that I feel. So, and people could hate you and hate me. I don't give a fuck what time it is. I don't really care.
Just the thing that I find ironic about the last year is it's like I was working the hardest to get the message of like coming together, putting our resources together, making something big happen to try and avoid the place they're trying to take us all to. And it's like so many people who are like core people in the community, the most helpful people, they were the ones that, I don't know, they flipped to the other side. And it's just like, it's amazing to me.
I mean, as far as the whole getting together thing, a lot of people are in fear. A lot of people are in fear. A lot of people they get convicted, it's a conviction like, damn, I couldn't make it. So fuck, man. I'm going to start hating now. People actually have that mentalities. And there's some people that did come that I don't understand, it is what it is. But, a lot of, like you say, you lost a lot of support. I think you gained a lot of support, When you make a move like that, you're going to get more hate, And that's one thing, Will had said that a lot of other big channels that know you said that one thing that you can do well is gather people. Because these people done tried to have gatherings and they can't get nobody. It's like this one auditor had a gathering, like.
But then even then, Will's become a punk. Like, I don't know what Will's problem is, but in my book, that dude's a punk. And it's like, dude, seriously, in one stream you're going to rip on me and you praise Brian at High Impact Flicks? Fuck you. You have no judgment. You're a sorry-ass motherfucker, too, and you should know what it's all about. Was Brian there in Oklahoma City? So Will can go fuck himself. But anyway.
Well, yeah, hey, look, whatever you guys beef, it doesn't got nothing to do with me. It's all good. But I'm talking about, like, you getting together, other channels, big channels have said that you do that well.
Yeah, so you think he wouldn't become a bitch and start? It's just like, I mean, so anyway, yeah, he reminds me of, like, I get major effeminate energy from Will. So
yes, I get that energy, but Will's a good dude, man. He just misunderstood, and he has his way of doing things. You have your way of doing things, but at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. So I don't see the problem with networking. Either way we network, I understand the violence and I understand the non-violence. So, I've been out in too much.
All I gotta say though is, like, Will's another guy. Since he met me, I helped build up his channel a lot. I got him a lot more subscribers, and then he's just a little bitch in return. So I'm just sick of all these people that I promote that turn into little bitches. I can't work with them. I don't want to stand next to them on the street anymore. It's just like, stay away from me. So yeah, Will might want me to come out for his birthday to bring people out. It ain't gonna happen. So anyway.
Yeah, well, it's all good. So yeah, man, it's just people gotta get their head out their asses, and we do gotta put the differences down, though, Zach. At the end of the day, the reason why these psychopaths rule over us, they fucking hate each other. I bet you if they could kill each other, they would, but these psychopaths know they got objectives. They got to come together to get it done. I had this debate earlier with this black business owner. He called himself, it's this black business called By Us, For Us. I'm like, what the fuck kind of stupid ass name is that? That's like FUBU, For Us, By Us. But it's called By Us, For Us, Black Owned. Black Owned. And here, I'm black. I can say this shit. I mean, people don't realize you're literally putting a stigma on your own business that actually is going to hamper your fucking business. You ain't got to, you're black, be black, all right? I don't even like using the word black because I don't use it in my life, and it's made it a whole lot better, is because you can't be black. That's a color of law term. We're not walking around here as fucking crayons. You're not white, I ain't black, they ain't fucking Hispanic, and they ain't Asian. We got cultures, we came from places. They hide it because they want to put us in a commercial capacity. That's a whole nother fucking video and a story for another day. But anyways, this black business owner named his business that, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck kind of sense does this make? You're perpetuating racism and you're slowing your business down. Why can't you just create a product, put the motherfucker out there, and promote it as a good product? You're actually limiting yourself by calling it that, because that's going to turn some people off. That'll even turn some black folks off. And I said, you think white people or Europeans put out a product and say, for us, for you, by us, or for us, by us? No, they just put a product out and it's successful and it works. And there's actually black business owners that use that model that are successful and do run a business, and they just stay the fuck behind the scenes and just create the product, and it's a great product and people buy it. So I was arguing with this business owner about, like, you're actually limiting yourself by calling it that and doing it that, and you're perpetuating the whole racist shit back and forth. I mean, you don't even got to do all that. We were going back and forth, and at the end of the day, he just said, you know what, you do got a point. He said, but I got to agree to disagree. I'm going to represent how I want to. I said, hey, go ahead. I mean, it is what it is. And it's just like things like that. And the whole point of what I'm saying is we get in our own way by dividing each other, dividing ourselves up with all these little things. We all know what's our number one fucking grudge? The government is fucking us, and we're slaves.
People are too petty. That's what it is, though. People are just too petty, too weak, too easily just. like for example, just to go back to Will, I know what Will's real problem is that I'm always questioning him in his chat. I'm always like, why do you have to say that in every stream? Like, what? And then he doesn't respond. The other day he said he was going to debate me on it. I said, okay, I'm ready. I'll be ready in 30 minutes. And that was like 3 weeks ago now. Again, I just want to have the conversation. He getting so butthurt over me asking him a simple question. Why's he got to make a big point about non-violence? Why do you have to put out that tagline out there? I mean, like...
Well, his take on the non-violence is my take on the non-violence. Okay, I'm a defensive person. All right. If you get enough people together that have enough of shit, you don't have to do violence. If 10 million people in the United States said "fuck you," we had enough. There's no violence because 10 million people flood wherever government office, DC or whatever the fuck said, look, we're just tired of all the bullshit.
Then what?
We're tired of all the bullshit. Then what? You got 10 million people tired of the bullshit.
Look at France, man. France is filling up the whole court, the whole massive area with people. Not shit's changing over there. That's the whole problem because they're all marching around non-violently. Look, we got 1 million people out here not doing shit. that's the whole thing, man. You keep it non-violent, you'll never do anything ever. Again, we should know that as Americans. This nation changed for a brief period of time because of a violent revolution. And it only lasted for a brief period of time because everybody put their muskets away after that.
What I wanted to say was the reason why nothing's changing over there is because that's how they're doing it. One thing we still have, while we got it, is the right to carry firearms. So what they taught Americans to do is protest peacefully with fucking signs and shit. No, you have the right to go protest with your fucking firearm like RPM Trey. If Americans realize this, if you got 100,000 fucking people loaded to the gills with firearms, do you think the police are going to push you back? They're going to tear gas you? They're going to do all the shit they do to those protesters? No, they're not going to do a goddamn thing because the playing field is level. You have a right to protest. You have a right to carry a firearm. You think they're going to shove you the fuck around and you got the same firepower that they got? No, because you got a right to defend yourself against anything hostile. How are you going to have a right to protest and a right to defend yourself and a right to firearms and not have all that at a protest? That's why they push what they push, because they don't want you to come out there like that. That's what I'm saying. If people got it and realize, you know what, we're tired of this shit. Let's go protest. We're not bringing a sign, honey. We're bringing Betsy and Susie. That's how it should be done. But, hey, will we ever get there? No. And that's a defense. That's what I'm talking about. Now you got an armed society ready for defense, not offense, because offense will land you in fucking prison, all right, with no charges. That's why Will says nonviolently. And that's why I'm all for nonviolence, because you start saying violence, hey, you might wind up, in a fucking penitentiary somewhere with no charges, like a lot of other, ex-truthers that are just sitting in federal prison with no charges because they're a threat, So I understand the nonviolence. So, that's the perspective I'm sure that Will comes from, because he's known people personally that have got locked up like that for, and they weren't even protesting. They were just traveling down the fucking road and, going to go to some training, and they end up in jail for fucking a year and a half with no charges, So that's just where he comes from. But like I said, man, like little stuff like that, it shouldn't get in the way of what we already. When we were together, it was a good team. You, Will, or even Simple Truth. I get it. Yeah, some people are in it for business purposes, but it all worked when we were together. That's why coming together is important, because them differences can be put down. You even got up with Derek. The internet is toxic, man. The internet is toxic. It is just a toxic ass place. If you look at what we've done when we've gathered, there was beef before we gathered, and, it ended and we got together. People may have ulterior motives, I get it, but at the end of the day, it was all good when we was together. So I don't take nothing away from that. And like I said, these psychopaths rule over us and control us because they do one simple thing. They come the fuck together. It's business to them. So they know we got to come together to get our objectives, and that's what they do. What we know all the things that psychopaths do, but one thing we can't do is get together. You know, because you got too many people up in their consciousness. I'm too high in consciousness. I'm just gonna have knowledge of self and sit over here in my love and light fucking world. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, you do that. You know what I'm saying? It takes people coming together to create a fucking change. I mean, that's facts. We're human beings. We're energy. You know, and it just is what it is. So, I mean, look what BLM has done to the United States of America. I mean, come on, man. They even came together, you know? It's crazy. White supremacists came together with black supremacists to create an objective because Antifa is racist. If people don't understand that, these motherfuckers are racist. They use the BLM as a opportunity to get their fucking rocks off. I've been deep into the trenches of their chat rooms. They are some racist motherfuckers. I've been out there documenting. They have no interaction with any black folks. All right? They don't. BLM and them are separate entities, and they stay the fuck away from each other. You know? It is what it is, man. So, you know, I mean, that's just my take on it, Zach, you know. But putting our differences down is key. And, you know, coming together is a feat that I don't know if we'll ever achieve, but, you know, I'll live in plan B. Well, I already got plan A. You know what I mean?
Andy. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, right. Thank you. Yeah,
I appreciate you, and keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, don't be apologetic. You know what I mean? You just, you know, it is what it is. I know, hey, you got a good woman at home, a real woman. You know, this woman, this Allie just cut her energy off, and, you know, she'll be all right. You know, she'll find somebody else. But I just see the narcissistic, negative energy, whatever demons in her. I could see it glowing. And when them trolls was after you, that woman was on fire, smiling inside, just lapping it up, nose flaring. You could see all the emotions coming out of her, feel the energy coming from her. She loved every minute of it. You know, that's why afterwards, you know, it hurt her, you know, because, hey, she really likes you. And that's why she hit you up and said what she did, because she's reaching out with narcissistic-ass behavior. And it's just what they do. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you guys have anything established, you know, God forbid if there was ever any creepage coming out. Is this the right exit? Oh, no. Shit. Damn. Just missed it. Oh, no. I can stay on this. But if there was any, you know, creepage going on, everyone in the whole fucking community would have known about it, because that's just what they do. So, you know, thank God you're a good man and you got a good woman, and you already understand the game because we've talked about it. And, you know, power to you, man. I'm going to let you go.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, right. Let him in.
Yep.
But again, I do want to make a point about Will. I was hear Will saying to himself that he's been a really bad person in the person. He was horrible to his ex. And again, he vouches for another guy that's a human piece of shit. And I'm not even talking about Brian at High Impact. But yeah, I don't want anything to do with Will anymore. I regret ever, promoting him. And again, I mean, the guy's a loser. Hey, what's the First Amendment? Who gives a fucking shit, moron? God, I mean, now he's like making fun of Gematria and like, oh yeah, the Jesuits. He's like, actually, he's really like that guy that Rambo supposedly thinks is so great. The book that Rambo said is so good. To me, that book's just like, it's like, where's any proof of any of this? Fritz Springmeier, just another guy that's full of shit. Just claiming that he's like rubbing shoulders with the Illuminati, talking out of his ass. The purple lights are all going to kill us. It's like, okay, so information like this that's just total bullshit based in nothing is, I mean, it's just like dumb people fall for this stuff. Anyway, the next call I'm going to take is from 267 if Dana's still out there. But, yeah, anyway, the one thing where I disagree with Yeah Right is like, Yeah Right entertains people to me who are losers, like who don't deserve a platform. And again, I just think these people should just be cut off and just adios. So, anyway, Will's a bitch, and again, I regret that I helped his channel grow by 5,000 subs. So, and yeah, also the guy on the screen, just like I said, I've been telling you the whole time, I guarantee the guy's gay. He is. And I've said he probably wouldn't be surprised if he's inbred. And I mean, look at the fucking guy. That's sports gematria right there. He didn't even mean to do that. He's like, oh shit. He was like, what a fucking moron. Puts himself on camera, poor guy. But yeah, the next call I'm taking is from Dana. in the 267 area code unless she had to go make dinner. So, and then there was another woman who was unhappy with what Yeah Right was saying. If she wants to call in to rebuttal, she can. But yeah, again, more correct predictions. Hey, Twavith. Hey, do another video saying I nailed another prediction. You know, put your face on the screen and then play all the clips of me talking about how you're probably an inbred fucking loser. Nailed it. So. Hey, what's up, Dana?
Oh my God, finally. Can you hear me okay? I have my earbuds on. If not, I can take them off.
I'll try to be quiet and I'll boost the volume on my side and I think it'll be okay.
Well, no. Let me do this. Hold on. Is that better?
Try that again.
Is that better? Do I sound better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to talk fast so everybody can listen fast. I want to address Allie really quickly. I think what everybody says is very true. And you got to just ignore these people. She's obviously like a fan. She wants to perfect her interviewing skills, etc. Goodbye. We're done with that. Like this is not the place. She's not going to use you to try to perfect her interviewing skills and use this community and work, and then entertain trolls. And every time I want to support women because I'm a woman, right? But every time I would hear her, I'm like, oh, it's so obvious. So, and Yeah Right, the Matrix is talking from his perspective. He's obviously been traumatized by women, and I think I'm always talking about the divide of men and women. And I've been traumatized by men, and for a long time I would speak and I sounded like a man hater. And that's actually not the case. It's that I was traumatized by certain men that were narcissistic towards me, that wanted to use my children against me, that from my own dad wanted to use my kids against me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that what we really need to do is, when we talk about these issues, talk about the people rather than it's women, it's men. I could go on about American men right now. I could say a lot of things that will probably have people laughing and a lot of people mad, but I'm going to save it because I don't even need to do that right now. I feel like a lot of you guys, I was like, maybe if I date men again, I should go find someone that's not from this country because the men here are totally fucking retarded. So, but I see, and I see like women like me in this community, I have a brain and logic, and I see the men in this community the same way. I'm like, I resonate with these men a lot when they talk about these American women because I see it in them too. And people are prone to act a certain way. And in this society, it is a cult. If you look up the definition of society, it's, cultures. So it's a big cult. And everybody's influenced, everybody's brainwashed. It's generational. It comes down from so many years ago. And everyone is acting as a character when you think about it. I saw this video a few weeks ago, and this woman had a dictionary from 1864, and the definition of a person wasn't even a human. It was a character. And another thing I learned recently is that the word nice is derived from the Latin word that means ignorant. So that's why they always tell you to be nice, especially if you go to CCD, that's what it was called when I was little. My parents made me go get my first Holy Communion. That's all I remember. They would tell me be nice. Be a nice girl. Keep your mouth shut. Be nice. Be kind all the time. It's be ignorant, shut your mouth, and just go along with all the insanity. But yes, I would like to see us as a people stop speaking from our places of trauma and recognize that these issues are like everything that Yeah Right, the Matrix is saying. I've experienced that as a woman, and that's what keeps the division going. So we need to talk about people, because it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. You can embody a narcissist. You can be toxic. I mean, I've had to ignore people. I've had to change my phone number, all kinds of shit. That's why I disappeared from the community for a little bit, because I was sick and tired of weirdos saying shit to me. I'm like, just leave me alone. I'm not here. I don't want attention. I don't even like to show my face anymore, you know? I just want to be part of something, because this is the only place I actually feel that I can express myself where people listen. And I just want to address the chat because I appreciate so much that people actually want to hear what I have to say. And they're not checking out, because so much in my life, people don't want to hear what I have to say. They think I'm a retard. And I'm like, wait, but you're the retarded one. Like, you can't even think for yourself. Everything that you say is a pre-programmed, selective, response that you've heard through the TV or whatever. And it's just, that's what we're dealing with. And as this community, like, we really need to let go of these, and I talk about this a lot, the gender roles that even a lot of people in our community talk about. I feel like they're from, like, religion still.
Yeah.
Like, wait, but, I'm like, and even, like, I don't want to go too much far into it, but I feel like it really is. Zach, I can't tell you how many guys have approached me and been like, well, I talked to Zach on the side and we want to start a community. And I'm like, I've heard this before. Like, you realize you're not the first person that said this? And you're like, well, we would want the women to stay home. I'm like, yeah, but I'm 40 years old. I've already had my kids. I'm not having any more kids. Like, like, I can't just be home. Like, I want to actually do something. Like, I don't want to just be at home. My son's 10, my daughter's 20. Like, what? I can't. What is this? The Handmaid's Tale? That's what it reminds me of. So we really need to start. Women are valuable. And we really need to start being, like, taken more seriously as people. And we shouldn't have to fight. But I would, I would if I had to, because during that whole pandemic, oh my God, I was the only person willing to go somewhere without a mask, willing to do this, willing to do that. And I hung out with a lot of men back then, because I couldn't make female friends, because females are catty. They talk about you behind your back. It's always a competition. It's just so corny, and I'm not like that. And, I hang out with men in my delusional mind thinking they actually wanted to be my friend, and none of them wanted to be my friend. They were just waiting for a chance with me, which was never happening anyway. So I'm the only person. I'll be with all these men. They're all pussies. They can't, they're I have to wear my mask because they'll kick me out. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, I just, it blows my mind. So here's me, a woman, giving my perspective, and I can't stand when, people go off on a rant of, well, these women, and it's like, I get you have trauma from a woman, and I have trauma from men, but like I said, when I would talk about that stuff, I'm like, man, I feel like I hate men, but I don't. And I thought we really need to move away from that. And Jack, I'm a very kind person. I like to give people a lot of chances, but you don't need to just not give a lot of people chances anymore. And I also wanted to always say this publicly. I found Zach's work in 2018. I listened to Mac Miller, and when he died, I was like, yeah, that's weird. So I Google search Mac Miller's sacrifice. I found, your video. And during that period of time, my daughter, who was 17 at the time, was undergoing chemotherapy, and they were killing her. And Zach took the time to talk to me. He's like, wow, this woman is going through some things, and I learned that cancer chemo kill. And Zach, oh my God, like, he don't have no time. He's not required to. He doesn't have to. He talked to me so many times about so many things, from my struggles with, my child, with the chemo, and learning Gematria helped me finally stand up to these motherfuckers, because they were killing her, and they were threatening you with CPS and all this stuff. And I was like, that's the nail in the coffin. A simple number code. They got me fucked up out here. I'm going to say whatever I need to say to them. And I went in front of Dr. Hunger, the head of oncology at CHOP. Isn't it the creepiest name ever? Dr. Hunger. What is that? And I told him, A, that his name was creepy, and B, what was up. And she's alive. She's studying psychology. She's in college. She's doing great. And I found a place where I can resonate with people, express myself, and I hate all the division, and I hate all the trolls and the people that think that the truth is a trend. I think a lot of people, especially in this day and age, like you see them online, they're like, oh, well, did you know this, and this? Like all these people are popping up, like going viral. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like you can spread this information, but what are we actually doing? Are we trying to remove ourselves from this insanity, build bridges to people, stop the divide and conquer shit? You know, there's so many women that I've met in the community, that have been traumatized by men, and then they perpetuate the man hate thing. And then they also refuse to work, and then I can't be like involved in that because I work still. God forbid I don't want to go homeless and lose custody of my children. Well, my daughter's 20, she doesn't live with me. But I lose custody of my son because I go to work. Like, it's just, I'm like, what are you doing? And I think that the isolation makes people mentally ill. They know this already, and that's part of the spell. You could be totally awake to what's going on and still be under a spell. People don't realize that. Like, yeah, right, the Matrix is talking about all the energy stuff. He's 100% correct. And people don't realize you wake up a little bit too much, you're then under a spell. You isolate yourself, you're depressed, you refuse to work, you become homeless, you're all fucked up, you can't go out in public because you're too sensitive. It's like, grow the fuck up. A lot of people, when they're traumatized like that, they revert back to being an entitled teenager. And they need to grow up, fucking pull themselves together, and suck it up and go out there. And that's like, it's weird because I sound like the older generation, like your parents that were like, fuck your feelings, go out there and do something in your life. But it's fucking true because the feelings don't matter. And people think about the internet, all this stuff we do, we sit around there, blah, 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 blah. It's going to come out at some point. The internet is part of the MK Ultra shit, 100%. We already know there's patents that they can manipulate, people through the screens. You've seen the severe onset gender dysphoria in young people where they already have a untreated mental illness, and all of a sudden they're fucking a boy thinking they're a girl. It's right in our faces, and we know it, and we sometimes still let that shit affect us. Like, I know people are like, I can't work because I can't be on a computer. I'm like, but you're on Facebook all fucking day. Facebook is fucking DARPA. Come on. So let's just get our heads out of our asses, stop the divide and conquer shit. We need to come together, and just move forward through this. And if people have shown their true colors to you, you just cut them the fuck off. Just cut them off, because it's the only way to do it. You just gotta cut them off, like how a narcissist will gaslight you and act like you're not there and you don't exist, and they'll give you the silent treatment. You gotta reverse that and do that to these people. So I'm done my rant.
Well, Dana, I appreciate you calling in and putting out your perspective. And again, for people who aren't familiar with Dana, she was mad at me for a minute, but she forgave me, and she was mad over something that was correct. I mean, she was one of the people who went out for 2020 DC when I canceled a week before, which was not intended. But I do appreciate that you forgave me, Dana, and have remained in the community, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I also actually want to address that too. I didn't understand Sweet Lady for a long time because I came into the community, I see you trying to do this, and she's like, being dramatic and don't want to do it. And you used to tell me all the time when we would talk to stay true to myself. So one thing that always stuck in my head, because I never had a man in my life that cared about my well-being, that wasn't trying to fuck me. Period. You're the only one. So I appreciate you. I hold you in a high regard. So I don't understand. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he? And me, I've been with people that didn't let me do it. I couldn't even go to Target without getting 500 phone calls. And moms, they love to go to Target and shop alone. So I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to fucking look at the fucking Bath and Body section. Leave me alone. And so I saw that, right? And then, obviously your whole point of life is to grow and evolve. And I watch, you progress, you sweet lady, she starts letting you do things. And then I admire her hard work going to school. It's amazing, and it's funny when because I tell this to my daughter too. She's like, should I do psychology? I'm like, Elena, yes, because there's going to be a ton of people. There's going to be a ton of people needing help. There's going to be shortages. You're going to be fine. And then you talk about sweet lady with the shortages, her friend getting high-paying jobs. And a while ago, I was like, sweet lady's going to end up starting to like study herbs. And then you talked about her family. It's in her, And I think she'll come around. I think she's from another country, right? It's traumatizing for her to be here. You're the only person she has. And she needs time to go through the American dream and wake up from it. But it's good that she's applied herself and been able to. She has a job. She can support herself. She can do things. And a lot of people, American people, can't say that about themselves. So anybody that has anything to say can, go somewhere else with it. But I don't understand it for a long time either, But like I said, I understand now and I appreciate it. And one thing that I met someone, and I have to practice patience with this person because they do not eat a lot of the things, but they're not vaccinated, so that makes me happy. So it's a patience thing, and like I said, I admire you. So I'm like, that's been really patient with Sweet Lady, and look what's happened. I see you guys owning a farm one day, starting a community. Sweet Lady will become an herbalist, and everything is going to work out.
Well, those are the exact kind of things we would like to do. And again, I'd like to create a place like that for other people in the community. Like the people who are struggling right now, I wish I had like a place to be like, hey, come out here and live with us right now. So in the future, I think it will happen.
I think it will too. I would love to at some point be able to go somewhere like that and be around people, like you guys and other people in the community. So long as there's not people that are weirdos, like I don't want anyone bothering me. I want to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? I think, and people can't be too like, there's so many people think because they wake up they can't have a good time or, enjoy like music still or things like that. And it's like, as long as you're not under the spell and worshiping these things, you can still live life and have a good time. You can hold a job, you can go out, whatever. As long as it's not you're not like worshiping and run by it, you can still, because you have to. Look what we're living in. Or else you end up isolated and insane. So.
Indeed. So.
All right. Well, I won't. I'm gonna go.
I know you got to make dinner. I appreciate you taking time out of dinner time to talk to us, and thanks for getting a lady's perspective on the stream. And yeah, appreciate you, Dana. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Zach.
All right. Take care. Bye. For the record, you guys, just a funny thing. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but my mom really likes Dana. My mom also really likes Allie, and in the time that my mom's become aware of Dana and Allie, she's insisted that I should leave Sweet Lady for both Allie and Dana. I think my mom especially likes Dana because they're both single moms, and Sweet Lady's such a good person. It's just, and the way my mom is, like, let's just say that I was with Dana or I was with Allie. If that was the case, then my mom would be creating conflict there. My mom likes to create conflict. Hold on. 720-720. You're on.
Hey, Zach, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I was listening earlier and yesterday, and I think I was listening the previous night, too, where he's talking about Israel and Jewish people. And yesterday, that brother was talking about, like, a man to be a man, a woman to be a woman. And, I'm Torah IQ, and basically, that's what we're all about. The Torah is a masculine side of God, which is being a man. Prominent Christians are in the New Testament, it's the feminine side of God. And that's why they're like neutered men. And that's why they got a belief system only, but they take no action, they don't do anything. And that's where they're feeling bad. Like that one brother said, we're waiting for Jesus to come back. No, it's more like Jesus waiting for you to do something and manifest something on this earth. And that's what, when I follow the Torah, like we either, one brother got a hold of something, either we go to the community Shabbat or we don't. And there is something like frequencies, we call them. When you're together in the midst of making it real, like your actual blood, your actually bodies in the midst of every other body and blood, That's when you can have power and manifest and do something on this earth. And there's a lot of truth, like they call it internet. It's like a false reality because I can't really touch you or really feel you. You know what I mean? There's a big difference when you show up in flesh and blood. And that's what I called you like months ago, and you were going on journeying, like New York. That's what you got to keep doing. And it's a spiritual warfare, trust me. But every time you get in the midst of a group of people, that's when you're manifesting something on earth. You're making it real.
I agree. When spring comes for the record, I plan to do my voyage down to LA. I was going to wait till later in the year, and I'll probably do it again later in the year. But again, I want to drive down there so I can bring the audio equipment. And again, the reason I got to wait till springtime is just because it can be messy in the mountains, and I don't have the right car for going through the mountains with snow. But yeah, I do agree with you about getting out there, and that is when it feels a lot better about what you're doing. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. Action wins, and that's the whole key. When you take action on this earth and you don't get caught up in the beast system, red dragon, subplot, we call it in Hebrew, real realm of death, what's the other key? You're turning on life. And life brings life, right? So your words bring life, whether they're positive or negative, right? So God says, choose life. Well, it is true. When you get around some people in negative, it's true. It cancels like 100 positives that are right around you, right? So that's why you got to choose your people who you hang around with wisely. And, that's why, in me, just being Torah IQ, well, if you want wisdom, you want to hang around with wise people. Are you wearing cotton, wool, and linen? Or are you going to Sabbath? How's your marriage doing? How's your wife doing? How's your family doing? Are you getting a bar mitzvah or a bar mitzvah? Are you working 6 days a week, right? Every principle brings a blessing on this earth. And then when you have a community, the community, it benefits everybody. Because you're one accord, you have one place on earth, you have one time, that's where God needs you to be. And I think, your assignment, you're following your assignment. In Hebrew, there's 7 spirits of God, 7 different destinies. That's why I kind of respect you, and I always called in, and even my daughter's like, this guy got something, Dad. But yeah, he's exposing the hell out of the subplot, the realm of death, New World Order, Illuminati. This guy, like you said, the Jesuits, the tip of the spirit, I mean, he's breaking their back, man. So, the ignorance of knowledge is why people fail. Because it's what you don't know, it really harms you. So you really hit something that's so powerful, so God chose you before the beginning began on this place, on this earth, at this time, to do the assignment that you're doing. Whoever's assigned to you, it could be for a day, could be for a season, could be for a year. And then when somebody exits, that means another man's entry comes in. There's no right or wrong, that's it. And it's funny, in Hebrew, we're going into the Feast of Esther. It's a Haman spirit. We go by seasons. There's a conjunction this Wednesday where Jupiter hits Venus. So it's another conjunction with the king and the brides coming together. In Hebrew, we study astronomy, not astrology. That means just another trigger event's going to happen on this earth, and a whole brand new, if you want to call it energy, they call it 7 spirits of God, going to flow it again. It's going to manifest through his people on earth. So whatever destiny you're in, you're just going to trigger into it, you're going to flow into it, and you're going to, before it began, you're going to walk it out. Hands down, bar none, right? So, what you're doing, you're just doing it before it began. God said, pick a body that you want, you jump in it. He said, pick an assignment, okay, you want to expose New World Illuminati, okay, that's fine, I'm going to use you. And then, at the end of your life or whatever it comes to, you never die. It's always about living on earth. Hebrew is about walking on earth. Christianity, I want to get raptured, I want to die, or sucks. Well, why the hell God put you here then? You ever ask yourself that? He put you on earth. You have an assignment, you have a purpose, and you got to find out who you that's created to do. And whoever is helping you along the way, and that's what they agreed to as well. But some are going to exit along the journey, and then some new people come in. So, but I understand, the first thing is you got to, be married, give children, be fruitful, be multiply yourself. And that whatever assignment that you're doing, exploding Gematria, you're multiplying it. You're exploding, right? So you just keep doing what you're doing. And, and that's the whole key. Everyone has a purpose in this life, but it is sad when someone doesn't find their purpose. That's when they talk about the realm of death and this entraps them. Well, this sucks. I fail. I'm going to die. That's a load of crap. That's just coming. In Hebrew, it's called the Latzarah, the realm of death. With the Latzarah, you want to choose life. There's 2 realms within you, right? Life and death that you got to choose. And there's 2 realms around you, life and death.
But certain times, certain seasons that we're going into, we're going into spring soon, everything's shifting and everything's going to come forth to the next season. So that means you're going to have people exiting and some people are going to be entering. And in Hebrew, we know this very well. And that's what happens. This guy has the next shift on this earth, his next move. And all we do is be in Hebrew. I get to the Feast of Esther, which is next week, and with the Passover, unleavened bread. Those are circuitry. Those are keys of the kingdom that we walk out. From Christianity, well, I believe in Jesus. I only do Passover. I need unleavened bread. Maybe I'll work. Maybe I won't. I don't know. They're double-minded. They're flip-flop all over the place, and they don't take any action, hardly doing anything. It's just a belief system only. And it's very sad, like I said, when you have a man and a woman changing roles, God didn't gear you that way. Look between your legs. That's evident. That's what God called you to do, period. There's no, that's as easy, as simple as anything. But when you do change laws of God, when men become women and women become men, and you dress, with a man with a dress and lipstick, it does change the principles and the protocols of God. It brings a curse on the earth instead of a blessing. Then it's called confusion. You can appease it, but somehow in your spirit deep down, you know that it's wrong. And, basically they're in a retrobate mind, and the problem is in their 5 levels of their soul. And that's what's also going on. They're battling in their own soul, and they're dealing with the iniquity of their forefathers is another thing. But their forefathers didn't take care of it. They got to repair it. So they walk in the iniquity of it, or they recorrect it. That's all it is. But Zach, like I say, keep strong, keep doing what you're doing, knock out the negative, keep in the positive. We are going to the next, we call it the Feast of Esther, Spring Purim. Passover in April, everything's going to shift. That's what even Yeshua said. Look, you can discern the times and the seasons, right? You talk about spring, right? Fall, spring, winter, summer. Everything shifts at every season, every 4 months.
Indeed.
But also in your own life, everything's shifting as well within you and also people around you, right? And that's what's going on right now. That's why people can't figure out what the hell's going on. This is happening, that's happening. Well, you're going into the next season. And even like when you look in the heavens above, the stars, the moon, and everything for signs, that means more triggered events are going to happen on the earth. The subplot can move further, New World Order, Illuminati, and everything you're exposing, and they can do what they're going to do. But also the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God, or whatever 6 or 7 destinies you chose to walk into, you're also going to go forward and go to the next level. But in every kind of time of curve, there's a crisis, because you're going into change. And that's what happens. Change is change. And some people can handle it. Some people will get in fear, and they run away 10 steps back. It's like, whoa. I don't know if I can handle this. But those are in faith. Those are in strong. Those are our morale. Those are our principles.
Friend, I appreciate everything you're saying right now. I'm going to let somebody call in because they've never called in before. And I just want to hear what they have to say. It's an older woman, so she might have some wisdom. But thank you. You've said a lot of great things today. Thank you.
All right, Jack. Be blessed, bro.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Barbara, you've never called into a live stream before. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. I thought I didn't mean to cut him off, but I thought if Barbara's calling in, she must have something to say. So you got the floor.
Well, I do, actually. This is pretty close to home here, the suicide thing, because I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but my mother committed suicide when I was 50 years old.
I did not know that. Sorry.
And I have to say that after following you for several years now, in fact, I was raised in a congregational church, as my mother was. It's so difficult, even now, even when I know the truth that you speak. It is so difficult for us, especially like my mother, to. She didn't even have the advantage of you, but it's so difficult when you're raised in that, like you said, it's almost like a cultism to try to break your way out. And when I was 50 and she was clinging to me and she was, thinking about the devil and the devil and the devil and, we all the sin and all the stuff that they put on us. We were too young to know any better. It was like she tried several times in desperation, and it finally got so I was desensitized. She'd say she'd take pills, and my kids would come home, her grandkids, Nan's on the floor and she's naked and she's taking pills. And I finally get to the point where I almost thought, well, you know what? Just leave her. Don't even call 911. It was terrible, terrible. And but a lot of this is so ingrained in society. It's so big, like you say, the Catholic Church and the Christianity and all that stuff. And I'll probably go to hell for this. I'm thinking, I understand all of what you're saying, but there's still a seed that remains for all of us that were brought up that way. How do you get rid of the seed?
How do we get rid of the seed? But more specifically, what do you mean by that?
Well, the seed is what we were conditioned to and mind controlled to, because of course religion is the most insidious type of control, because it goes beyond life into death, because it not only dictates what the horrible thing you've done all your life, which is almost everything. If you're human, you're going to be sinful your whole life. And then they capitalize on that. And then they say, well, if you've done that and you can't really repent all the way, then you're going to go in a lake of fire. So, this is where the conundrum is, Zach. There's so many, because I was born in 1950, maybe people, my grandchildren don't have this problem. I'm talking about, a certain other element, or other people that are just totally indoctrinated. It is the most insidious way of controlling a population. As I know you agree. I agree. I mentally and emotionally and, psychologically agree. But there's still, I'm trying to purge it. There's still something left that makes me think, oh my, maybe I should rethink this. Isn't that awful? I mean, I'm trapped.
Well, again,
and I think a lot of people feel that way.
Sure. If I had to,
might be wrong.
Well, it's like, how do you break the cycle of fear, right? It all comes back to fear, doesn't it? I mean, if you're raised with this thought from a young age that if you don't do this, or you don't believe this way, or you don't act this way, there's going to be consequences. I kind of feel like that's why everyone stays on the tracks that they kind of get put on from a very young age, that, they learn from their parents and church and the school and the news and the state. So it sounds like the seed is fear that's planted in the brain from an early age. Am I interpreting this?
Probably. Absolutely. That's probably true. And I think that there's a majority. I mean, think of all of the different countries in the world I was not Catholic, I was Congregationalist, but the Catholics are even more attuned to all of that sinful stuff, and the fact that they're quote born in sin. That to me, I never could do that. But it's the liturgical grip that still exists, and then now they're saying that the satanics are against the angels and all this. It's all, like you say, it's all such theater, and there's just the basis of numbers. I've got a Bible here, Zach, that I got from the church that I originally went to when I was a kid, and I asked them for the original Bible. It doesn't say a thing about the way. I believe that's the way that everything happened. I'm just frustrated now, because everybody is just throwing up all this stuff and the doomsday and the revelation, and my mother committed suicide over it. Basically, she was conflicted so much. She said, "Judge not, let ye be judged." That was in her 7-page suicide letter. And then last year, my nephew suicided for the same reason. Huh. And he was brought up very, very carefully in the church by my brother's mother. So, these are the things that are the most abhorrent things. Religion, which is supposed to be the greatest, is the worst, in my opinion. It's like, I'm sorry to say it, but to me, that's like I don't know who said it. One of the famous writers just said that it's the only thing that follows you beyond the grave. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I agree. I've always said that I think the layers that are controlling everyone's minds and kind of have us in the state of affairs we are is it's first religion, because before there was government, there was religion. The Catholic Church used to be the spiritual force and the governing force over Europe. And again, for people who don't know, in Gematria, Catholic equals Europe equals Holy See equals Jesuitism equals 35, like the first Catholic president over here is number 35. But yeah, again, and those are all the things that get put on us from a very young age. And at the end of the day, it's all fear-based. Believe or else. Comply with the state or else. It's all comply or there will be consequences. And of course, the religion one's the scariest one of all, right? It's eternal damnation. It's living in the lake of fire for the rest of your existence. So, I mean, you think about that as a child, things like...
Well, exactly. I hear you. And what is upsetting to me, just personally, well, not personally, but, for people that are kind of trapped in that kind of system, even if they're not trapped, but they go back in time and it comes out. These preachers, there's preachers on YouTube and stuff nowadays that are doing all this revelation, and you better get right with Jesus, and you better do this, you better do that, you better conform, and you better repent, you better do this, or you're going to be damned for life. Right. And they're scaring the crap out of everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, they're really capitalizing on this, Zach. I don't know if you're aware of it because you have such a logical approach. I mean, the only approach, in my opinion, even though I still have this niggling fear. I can't purge it yet. But they're out there.
Well, human development.
Really hard.
Barbara, human development, right? I mean, you study human development. I had to learn a lot about human development going back to school to be a teacher. In your earliest years, I mean, from the research, the things that are done to you by the time you're age 2, those things have the greatest impact on the rest of the life you'll live. The things that are done to you by age 2. For all the parents out there, you should be doing your very best work when your child is... A lot of parents think, it doesn't matter. They don't even understand the language yet. No, they're picking up on everything. Wright was saying, it's all energy. They're picking up on the energy. They're learning. So, and I mean, some of us break through anyway. I think somewhere in me, I'd be lying if I didn't say there's some little fear in me that, well, maybe I'm wrong about going against Christianity. Maybe I'll be in the hellfire. I mean, it's somewhere inside, but
exactly.
I don't...
There you go. There's the nugget. That you just said it yourself, Zach. There's the nugget.
Right, because I was raised the same way. It's just I decided that the logical part of me is I don't really think that's how it is. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't really live and let that fear rule me, obviously, but it's still a part of me because I was raised with that. So
exactly, yeah, and I think that I mean, you have finally arrived. I'm trying to get to the final hurdle here. But there's so many people that are listening right now probably that may feel the same way. I don't know. I'm trying to be humble about it. But there's you go to sleep at night and then you have a dream and, something happens and you think, oh, no, I've just damned myself to hell and fire and brimstone, because that's what everybody's preaching nowadays, too.
Indeed.
So I just wanted to kick in with them. I did have a personal thing with my mother having issues, and it all stemmed from her biblical upbringing, because she was, my mom, she was born in 1923, so they were brought up in the Congregational church, not Catholic, thank goodness, because that's pretty extreme. I can't go with when they say you go to the Catholics say when you do communion you're drinking actual blood. I could never go that way. But as a liturgical soloist in many different denominations, Christian Science, Methodist, Catholic, High Episcopal, Bethesda by the Sea, Palm Beach, all of these different churches, being exposed to that as a soloist and having the liturgical music background and the words and the actual requiems and glorias and all that, in different languages. I have that sometimes. Those songs, of course, they go through my head and everything. So I know a lot of the Bible only through what I sang during my career, in all different denominations. But I will tell you this: in the churches that I participated in, was hired for as a soprano soloist during my career, I will tell you that there were things that went on in the back rooms when they were doing their who's going to be the primary minister and who's going to teach this Sunday and who's going to do that. There was so much backstabbing back there. That's what finally started turning me against the whole institution. It's worse than Washington, D.C. I hate to say it.
Yeah. I hear everything you're saying, Barbara. And
these are people that are, quote, Christians. And as soon as they left the pulpit on Sunday with the smiles and, oh dear, I love you, there was so much backstabbing. That was back then. This is 20, 30 years ago, whatever. And that was then. And now the churches are completely almost desolate because of what's happened, and the trannies and all that stuff getting involved in the pulpit. That's so ridiculous. Anyway, I won't take up your time, but I've got, you said about the 2-year-old thing, right? I've got some memories of 2-year-old things. If you want to get with me some other time, I will share them with you.
Okay, yeah. We'll have that conversation. Thank you again, Barbara. I appreciate it.
All right. And thank you so much for bringing the light and the truth through this darkness of all of this control. And the religion is the worst, almost the worst that I can think of the controls, as you have said and you have proven time and time again. Bless you and keep you strong.
I appreciate that. I could prove it some more with what they're doing with Disney and Ron DeSantis today. And today's date numerology 72, the big Jesuit number. It's 72 days after the Pope's birthday. Walt Disney Day Mole, Orlando. I'll do a video on the Disney thing later today with Ron DeSantis. Notice the Dow Jones is up 72 points on this 72 date numerology, 72 days after the Pope's birthday. Don't forget he became the first Jesuit Pope on the 72nd day of the year. But anyway, Barbara, I do appreciate your support. And thank you again for that mug, too. I really like that mug you sent me. Thank you. I think she might have dropped off. Thanks again, Barbara. 609, you're on.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because I'm kind of listening to you in my earphones. So I'm Seshet, by the way.
Okay.
I was just listening to Barbara. Who? Barbara?
Yeah, that was Barbara, the last caller.
Okay, there we go. I'm Seshet, by the way.
Yeah, I saw your comment in the chat, so you figured out how to. Yeah, it's a cell phone, so it's.
I'm in the chat, so I'll stop listening now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of respond to Barbara because I understand her. I was raised Catholic the same way she was, and it took me a while to disconnect myself from it and from all the Abrahamic religions. But you have to read. You can't, there's no way you're going to be able to disconnect just listening to other people talk. What you do, Zach, is incredibly helpful. But you have to start reading and you have to start understanding the various mythologies that have fed into Christianity. That's one of the things you have to understand. You have to understand the incredible damage that Neoplatonism and the rabbinical translations of the Old Testament did to the Vatican, to the papacy in the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th centuries, where they turned the thing upside down. One of the best guys in the world to read is Michael Hoffman, who has written The Occult Renaissance Church, which is a fantastic book. And once you do that, you will understand how it's basically a priestly caste that has decided that they are better than everyone else. This was pulled out of rabbinical studies, and they are the ones who have decided that they are above the laws. They are above all the sins that they tell everyone else to worry about. But they want you to follow the rules. And that's how it works. And once you can see what has happened to Christ's message, such as it was, then you realize that you can't listen to them anymore. Because they actually don't know, and they've twisted it so badly that it no longer resembles anything like what the first church was, say, the first century AD, so to speak. And it'll help you. It can help you pull yourself out of that. It's helped me pull myself out of that. Although I have to admit, I do understand people who talk about the fact that once you understand what's going on here, you can become somewhat isolated and avoiding people. I'm lucky enough because I can still talk to my son and I can still listen to you guys. But it does become difficult because the world is so deluded about all of this that you listen to them talk about these events as if they're real, as if these people are real, as if the decision's real, as if the votes matter, and you kind of step back and I don't know what to say to them. I look at them and I say, do you really believe that they actually count your votes? How do you know? And I know that people eventually get incredibly frustrated because there's no comeback to that. They can't prove any of it. I try to explain to them, how can you believe these videos? Haven't you seen deep fake technology? Have you watched the series Capture from the UK? Anybody with half a brain can understand they could fake this in a warehouse, for goodness sakes. But people don't really want to hear that, and it does make it harder to talk to everybody. You do a great job, and it really helps me to stay on keel to understand that so much of this is ritual. I'm reading a terrific book now in which they actually talk about the origins of Gematria, which is kind of surprising. They're talking about a text called the Paraibo text and the Vinland map. And the fact that the scribes, who were the only ones who knew how to write, actually played games with each other and put secret messages in those things. They weren't magical. They weren't anything. They were just secret messages. And they talk about the coding in the book. It's, I forget the name of it at this time. But you can see how it started. You can see how it started. Because it didn't start out being magical. And it didn't start out coding cults in the ancient world. And then it sort of changed. And you're right, once they changed English to match it all, we've been in trouble ever since. But I do want to tell you that I appreciate all the work that you do there. And I did want to share that with Barbara. She should read Zechariah Sitchin's series if she can get her hands on it. It's on Kindle. You'll understand Enlil and Enki, and that will help you to get a better grip on what is going on. She should read a little about Zoroastrianism if she can. That will help her to understand better what you're up against. And it'll be much easier to pull yourself away from it all once you realize how deeply far back all of this goes.
The book you're reading, the other book you're reading about the early use of Gematria, what book is that?
I'll tell you in a second. I have to go down and get it. I got it. I forget why in the world I got it. You'll probably have a tough time finding it. I'm talking to Zachary Hubbard. My husband wanted to know who I was talking to.
I see.
Nobody that you're interested in. Trust me. The name of the book is Riddles in History. It's by a guy named Cyrus Gordon.
I'm going to look that up. Thank you.
Yeah. I actually got it from a used bookstore, and it didn't turn out to be what I thought. I thought he was actually going to talk about, some ancient places and whatnot, but he's talking about deciphering ancient texts and all the problems involved in them, and there are 3 texts in particular that he talks about. I think you'll find it actually pretty fascinating. He complains about how hard it is in the archaeological world to get any support for finds and for translations and for understandings of things because they're also afraid that they'll be declared, fake and imposters and whatnot. So the first thing they do is say it's all wrong. But he goes through a number of interesting things. I was very, very surprised because he speaks about the word Elohim, which I think most people will understand is supposed to be understood as a Hebrew word for God. But that's not entirely true. If you listen to Paul Wallace and read any of his books, he's concluded that it stands for the powerful ones because it's a plural, even though a lot of rabbinical translations will tell you it's a singular. But that's a ruse by the church to keep people on even keel because they don't want anyone to understand that there were other powerful ones apart from Yahweh, and so that's a big problem. But he talks here about the actual spelling of it, because it's not spelled in the ancient texts the way we see it. We always see it as the Elohim, but it doesn't come out that way. The actual first letter is truly an L, which blew my mind. It's Lhym, which is stunning to me because I would never have expected it. They don't know how it was pronounced. We just pronounce it however we do. And the Hebrews added vowels to their alphabet. God, I can't even remember how far back they did it because they couldn't teach it anymore. So, but that's what she should do. She should read. Good luck finding the book.
Yeah, I see it. I'll see if I can find it somewhere other than Amazon. But yeah, I'd like to read it myself.
No,
I appreciate that.
This from Amazon. This is from one of those. It's like Abe Books, maybe. ABE might have it. I think that's where I got it from.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm always looking for a book with more information to document the history of all this. So thank you.
You'll be surprised at exactly how they do the coding. And he talks in it about how they would embed these messages in what looked like very simple text, a narration of a voyage, but the first letter of every word of every line could then be added together. But then there was a code. It's pretty fascinating. This one's also about Norse runes as well, Icelandic runes and whatnot. So it was done by lots of different cultures, Zach. It's really surprised me because you've talked about gematria, and it was never meant magically, at least not the way he talks about it. It was rabbinical Judaism that turned it into some sort of powerful whatever entity, and wherever they got that from remains to be seen. But there does seem to be a lot of support for Pythagoras and a number of other characters back in the ancient past.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you go. You can answer a few more phone calls. Thanks for taking my call, and keep up the good work. I listen to you religiously. How's that?
Okay, but I can tell your husband doesn't. But I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Oh, he can't stand any of it. He thinks we're all nuts.
Yeah. I know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Bye. The way she said that to her husband was funny. 505?
Yeah.
505, you're on. You got to mute the video.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, what's going on?
Let me
Just mute your video and just talk through the phone and you'll be all caught up.
You still there?
Yep.
Hey, just to let you know, I've talked to you before. It's probably been about 4 years since I called you on your live show. I think it was about 4 years ago. I think I was around 53. I'm 57 now. And I really enjoyed the last two callers and kind of motivated me to try to call again. But yeah, just to try to address the topic about suicide prevention and escaping the gloom and doom. It takes place, people in their darkest hour got a lot of experience with this topic. And kind of goes all the way back to my upbringing. I was raised in Memphis, so I've been watching a lot of your Memphis coverage lately. But anyway, my mother dealt with, I guess, a lot of depression. She was diagnosed with bipolar manic depression, and I came from a broken family. She left my dad when I was about 5, and anyway, she wound up leaving him for her first cousin of all people, and wound up marrying this guy.
Huh.
And had a couple of abortions with him, because they didn't want to have a child that could have been deformed or whatever. But it was really just a crazy upbringing. And she was raised in Nashville. Her family was all broken up as a kid, and raised in an orphanage basically. And her younger brother was molested, and he, as like a 5-year-old through his younger years by men, and he wound up going into an insane asylum. Died at 44. There's that number again. Schizophrenic, the whole 9 yards. And she, my mother, when I started college, about 21 years old, she attempted suicide. She had divorced that man that she left my dad for, her first cousin, who was my second cousin, and basically helped raise me for a number of years. And I almost had to beat that guy off my dad with a baseball bat when I was a young man, because he was high on speed and alcohol and whatnot, and had to save her life from him one day. Never saw him again after that. Thank God. I was 16 at the time. But she eventually, just got worse and worse, and she married this other guy who left her, and then she tried to kill herself, and got dressed up in a white dress, a wedding dress, and took a whole bunch of pills in a hotel. And by grace and mercy of God, her people she worked with started calling around hotels for some reason, and they found her and saved her. Had her stomach pumped in the hospital. She survived it, and continued to live for several years after that. Quite a few years, actually. I think at the help of my dad, who actually came back into her life at that time. Nursed her back to somewhat of a mental, health state that was manageable. But eventually, my sister got real heavy into drugs and alcohol with her husband, and she was, we believe, actually, the family does believe that her husband actually had her, gave her a hot shot of some cocaine. They were coke addicts, but in the autopsy, she died of apparently a heroin overdose. This was 26 years ago, next month, in March. And so my mother, after that, I actually did the eulogy. I drove from New Mexico to Memphis to do the eulogy for this funeral. And my mother tried to crawl into the casket at this funeral. My brother was, and I both were trying to pull her out of my sister's casket. She had passed and was losing her mind. And so was my dad, actually, at the time. But it was a really sad experience, to say the least. And my sister had 3 kids, young kids she left behind. They were 9, 12, and 14 or 15 at the time. And very tragic to lose her. But the day before my sister's funeral, my wife at the time asked me. She said, "What songs are we going to sing at the funeral tomorrow?" And she said, "Amazing Grace," asking me the question. And as soon as the word grace graced her lips, I actually had a vision of my sister in the arms of Jesus. And he was hugging her, and I couldn't see his face and I couldn't see her face because his back was turned to me, and her face was covered up by his body, his face, his back, I should say. And I immediately just started bawling, like this huge puddle of tears on the kitchen floor in her house where she lived with her husband and kids at the time. Anyway, I was blown away because, I had been taught to in church, and I wasn't raised in the church. My mother was a hippie. She was a free spirit. My dad was an agnostic/atheist. So I was never indoctrinated with anything as far as my belief system. I got interested in God because everybody in Memphis was raised in the Bible Belt. Everybody talked about God all the time. So I just started asking, if there is a God, I want you to
prove that you're there, that you exist, right? Show me. I want to know. I don't want to just believe like you're always saying, because you can believe a lie, right? This is a lie. Right. I want it to be, I want the truth. Just like you're saying, truth seekers. That's why I love your show. I love everything you say. I don't agree with everything you say, of course, because I've got experience as opposed to belief. I know there's a God. I don't have any doubts in my mind. I know it. And one of the reasons I know it, and one of the reasons that helped me get through this, this situation with my sister, and eventually the death of my mother, who died going on 18 years ago now. She eventually did die, and then she may have drugged herself to sleep too. I don't know. But I do know that my sister was in the arms of Jesus because I saw it. And I had this incredible spiritual experience because of my vision, because of what I saw. And I was amazed, just like the song said, when my wife at the time asked me what songs we're going to sing, Amazing Grace, that she was in the arms of grace. That he was loving on her, and he was comforting her in this horrible time for her and her spirit, leaving behind her 3 kids. And I knew it. It was all just unspoken knowledge that he was comforting her at this time, and that she wasn't in hell. That was the main thing. She wasn't burning in hell. And here she probably, if anybody deserved hell, this girl deserved hell. She was a drug addict. She abandoned her children to a large extent. We had drug cartels. They had drug cartels coming by and shooting bullets into the house with, when they were little kids. It was crazy, insanity. And she was selling her own body at the behest of her husband at the time, so that they could get drugs and keep themselves drugged up. So if anybody deserved to go to hell, it's probably my sister. But she wasn't in hell, and I knew it. And so I actually shared this experience, just like I'm sharing with you and everybody who's listening right now, at the funeral the next day. And like I said, I just had this huge puddle of tears, and her oldest son was comforting me at the time. He was putting his arms around me, trying to hug me and comfort me and tell me, it's okay. He's comforting, this is my sister's son. And I couldn't believe it, that she had received this grace from God. And so I shared it, like I said, with everybody the next day at the funeral service. And so ever since then, I have this knowledge that, there is life after death, and it's actually okay. Everybody's going to go. It's one guarantee. That's what makes life fair, right? Nobody's getting out of here alive. And so that's what my dad always says, who's supposedly a non-believer, an agnostic. But at the same time, I'm not the judge, just like this lady's letter, this 7-page letter, this suicide letter. Don't judge me, because we don't know. We don't know how much pain people are in emotionally, psychologically, physically. Sometimes the pain is so hard, people just want to go. It hurts too much. And we are not to judge. That's what Jesus actually taught. Judge not, lest you be judged. So let people go and let them move on to whatever it is. And if they want to commit suicide, they want to die, I've gotten to the point where, hey, you know what? God's going to judge, and I'm not going to judge. And it's okay, because, man, I've been through a lot of depression myself. There's been a lot of times in my life I wanted to die. I wanted to give up. And I wanted to be in the arms of Jesus. I wanted to be at peace, because life is not peaceful. Life is hard for all of us. And when you really start researching and figuring out what's going on in life, there is so much evil in the world, and that's the big mystery, the big conundrum that we all have to face every day, that there is good and evil. I hear you say that all the time. You don't know about a lot of things, but there's good and evil. And you'd be pretty blind to not at least be able to admit that. And there's a lot of people who don't believe there's evil, that it's all good. There was an expression that went around years for, it's all good, everything's all good. Well, guess what? It's not all good. But God is good.
Here, real quick, thanks for calling in and sharing the story, and sorry about all the tragedy in your family, but just 2 questions I have on things you said is, why would you say that for addiction she deserved to go to hell?
No, it wasn't for addiction. It was because she had abandoned her children.
I see.
And she was selfish. She was so selfish.
I see.
Which we all are. So that makes it evil too. That makes it not even, but it makes it fair. because everybody's selfish. That's the real sin of humanity, is that we're all selfish.
Sure.
And we will put ourselves before other people most of the time.
Sure.
And that's why Jesus, I think, was constantly trying to remind us, to love God and to love other people. Put other people before yourself, maybe not in every situation, but try to, at least, think of other people. And she was not like that. She thought of herself. I mean, she just wanted her drugs. That's all she cared about. She was willing to sell her own body for drugs.
Sure.
Instead of taking care of her own children.
Sure.
They were abandoned, man. It was ugly.
No, I get that.
I wound up doing the same thing myself because I became a drug addict and an alcoholic even after she did all this. And I had the same experience where God gave me grace and mercy too in jail. I went to jail 6 times in less than a year from 2014 to 15. I've been sober for 8 years. It'll be a month from tomorrow. It'll be 8 years since I last got drunk. But I had to go to jail 6 times, and I had to have another encounter with Jesus in jail in order to get delivered from alcohol.
Okay, so that's the other thing I want to ask you about. First of all, congratulations on overcoming your life hurdles and putting yourself on a better path, because a lot of people never do it, so congratulations. Now, the thing about where you said you saw Jesus, whenever people make this claim, I always find it really interesting. How did you know it was Jesus?
It was, that's a great question. How did I know? Well, first of all, because I saw him. Okay, and I saw him from behind. Okay, so this was just something that I believe that it was telepathically. Part of it was telepathic. Like it was a knowing. There was no questioning. There was not. It was spirit to spirit revelation of God. And it's just like, when you hear truth, quite often truth speaks for itself, does it not? Truth speaks for itself. It resonates with your soul. It resonates with your spirit. It resonates, and like, that is truth. Somebody just spoke the truth.
Not everyone, though, right? Some people reject the truth. Like, some people despise the truth. Yeah.
So you can be deceived. You can actually be deceived, and the same with the lie. The lie, you can actually recognize a lie and say, that's a freaking lie. I know that's a lie. What just came out of that person's mouth is a lie. But you can also be deceived by the lie and believe the lie. So it's very subtle. It's very subtle. And I can only speak from my own personal experience. I can't prove to you that was Jesus by no means whatsoever. I can only say to you that this is what happened to me. It was a spiritual experience. It was a heavenly vision. I got taken up to heaven. Or wherever they were at. I don't know where they were exactly. I just saw them. And I've had dreams like that too, very vivid and livid dreams where I've seen my sister after she passed. I've had my sister and my mother both that appeared to me. They actually came to me in my bedroom after they were both dead, after my mother finally died 18 years ago. My sister and my mother sat down on the end of my bed, and I felt the bed go down. I knew they were in there. They didn't speak a word to me. But I knew, I could feel the essence of these two people that I knew and loved and had a personal relationship my whole life. They were in my room. And I told them, hey, thanks for the visit, but you don't have to stay. I really appreciate it, but you guys can go, and I love you, and I know that you love me, but I don't need you hanging around me. And I don't. I don't need them. What I need is God's Holy Spirit, which gives me love.
Here, question. You're not calling in from the Paul Unslaved channel, are you?
I'm sorry? Say that again?
Just there's a whole bunch of trolls that came from a channel called Paul Unslaved, and apparently he's streaming right now your conversation. I'm just seeing if I don't even know why he would be doing that.
Never heard of it, man. I promise you. Never. I don't know. I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm completely separate from all that. This is a very individual, very personal and private experience I'm sharing with you. It has nothing to do with any of these people. I don't have any.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was separate. I just had to double check. So.
No problem.
Anyhow, I do have to get off soon, though, because it is dinner time over here, and just going to let a few more people get in before I wrap it up. But thank you for sharing all that. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, no problem.
Congrats on overcoming your difficulties, too. So, appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. We love you, and God bless you. Keep up the good work, man.
All right, thank you. Take care.
You bet. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, interesting story. Yeah, right. The Matrix has been itching to get back on. All right. Well, what's up? Yeah, right.
Hey, what's up? I know you're getting off right now.
Well, I can go. I got to get off in about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to call back on. I mean, it's so far the thought's so far gone. I mean, I probably lost it, but great. There was some good calls, great calls. The one woman, Barbara, I think. Great to see an older woman come on, and I think she said she was born in 1950. That would mean 70s. So it's great to see that. But I just wanted to go back to kind of clarify some of the stuff that I said. Because, I do say things on purpose to get a reaction, and it works. So, I just wanted to touch on, who was it, Dana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana, she called in, shout out to her, like I said, she has her own, everybody has their own things. But, some of the things she said, I don't really want to bring Allie back on, but she said, I would like to support Allie because she's a woman. Now, these are the things that, I'm referring to. Yes, it's good to support a person, but it doesn't have to be because it's a woman. It could be because of what she was doing, or if it's a man, what they're doing. And also, she said that, this is a thing, happens in all relationships. All right. When your partner is listening, when they don't repeat themselves a week later, a day later, an hour later. You'll be like, the thing is, Zach, I counsel a lot of people, men, women, and all. And one thing couples have an issue, which I have a very good, this is one of my traits, is I'm a listener. I can listen to everything and analyze everything. She called in and basically was, going circles around what I said. Like, she said it was from my perception. She said it was, from a bad past trauma, and, all these different words. And, I had the same experience, but with man, but I already went through I did say all those things. I said, men have this narcissist behavior. Women have this I said both, and I repeated it multiple times. But this is the thing. This is the point I want to make is when people get in their emotions and feelings, they don't hear. You know this very well, right, Zach?
Indeed.
They only hear what they wanted to hear. Now, what she came on, she was in her emotions, and she only heard what she wanted to hear, and she just wanted to respond. Men have this issue, and women have this issue. You have to listen and analyze, put your feelings back so you can understand, because a lot of stuff that she said, I addressed it already. There was a lot of things, and this, I just want to say this because this is the problem that we have, and this is why I say what I say. It's both. It's men and women. It's a program. We're under a program, and a lot of that program came out in a lot of stuff that she said. She said a lot of, real stuff, but I'm talking about the whole, just because she's a woman, that's that whole woman empowerment thing. And, I get it. But at the end of the day, these are our barriers. These are is what is causing a riffraff in society and understanding a lot of different things. And then another thing that she said was, about like she knows you're a sweet lady. Like I haven't seen you, Zach, have your wife on your streams talking about your relationships. I don't know how everybody is in your relationship with your sweet lady. Like, I mean, yeah, you mention her, but people act like they know your relationship. They're like giving you advice on what you should do and, this and that. And like, it's like, I just don't, this is the thing, like people are so worried about you and your sweet lady, and it's like, but did I miss the stream? Did you bring her on and like you introduce it? You don't share your relationship with anybody, right?
No, I just talk about little things, but just people want
little things like I hear. I mean, it's like everybody always has this thing about sweet lady. I mean, I wish people, hey, that's your sweet lady, and that's where it's at, and I mean, so shout out to her, but it was things that she was saying, and
There's a guy out there who gets a lot of he makes videos about the decode of Sweet Lady. He starts his videos like this. Hi, I'm Joseph Aquaviva, and I'm here to represent Jesus Christ, who lived a perfect 33 years, and I want everybody to know how important Gematria is, and that the Jesuits run the world, and that Zachary K. Hubbard's a shill because Sweet Lady equals 33. It's just like, what in the hell's wrong with this guy, dude?
Yeah. And so I just wanted to go back and talk about that. And as far as like relationships and stuff like that, I'm talking about men and women. I just want to clarify, that it's this they have done this to us, and we got to get out of it. And she said that she's been in a lot of bad relationships. Well, how many people do we know that get into the same relationships over and over, like literally the same situations? Like, I know plenty of people, friends, associate people that I just come to be like, yo, can you help me out? They literally have had the same people and left that person and attracted the same energy again and in the same situation. People in that, I tell them, like, look, you need to check yourself, because your energy and whatever you're doing, you're attracting the same thing. People don't understand how powerful energy is. Like, you will attract what you want, And as far as me, I don't have no traumas from no relationship. My relationship was good. It was over in one day. Everybody has arguments, but I had a great relationship, but it was over in one day. It was more of, we were at a point where, in the ship, hey, I got to go up. I can't keep staying at this level. I got to go up. You're holding me down. You hold me back. It's kind of one of those things. You know what I mean? So, I had a great relationship, and I got one now. What you lose, you get back, and then some. These are the things that we need to learn. What you put out is going to come back. If your intentions was right, the relationship, hey, guess what? It's going to come back, and it's going to replace what you had, and it's going to give you better. Like, literally, you don't even have to look. This is real. And it's one of the things she said. She attracts like these fucked up men. Well, sometimes we got to stop, look in the mirror. And then change. We got to change ourselves, or we're going to keep attracting the same thing over and over. I counsel people all the time, and they have that same issue. You'll attract literally the same person again because of the energy that you're putting out. A ship is something we learn from. That's why a lot of people outgrow each other. What just passed Valentine's Day? You know how many people I talked to that were so excited because they were going to get some? And I've talked to people, oh, it's been a month since I got some. It's been a year since I got some. Come on, like, that isn't a relationship. That is a dead relationship already when you hear stuff like that. You've heard that before, right, Zach?
Indeed.
Come on.
That's people are just participating in the ritualism. It's like,
yeah. It's like you need to tell me the only time you get some is on Valentine's Day. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So Indeed. It's like, look where we're at in this society, man. And it's just, and this, what is that? That comes from the program, man. That comes from the program. And then, we can go on and on about, relationships all day. It's, women want certain qualities in men, but yet when you look at the woman, what qualities does she have? If you actually, some of these women, you get down to the bare knuckles, how are you going to go meet somebody and you have all these demands, and you meet a man, which men and women together is supposed to be a yin and yang, a perpetual balance of each other. One complements the other. Truth Vibration Podcast said it beautifully last night. The woman is our spiritual connection, our spiritual side. A lot of people don't understand that. Your woman is how you manifest your life through. That's life. We could go into, through what they call, sex magic and manifestation through intimacy. That is 100% real, And, so your woman is your spiritual side. You guys are a puzzle. That's why the male You know, everything in our society is built off these male and female principles. If you're into, mechanics, you got a nut, a bolt, you got a male and female part, electricity, everything is built off those two principles. And when they come together, they build, they create energy, they build structures. Without those two things, a male and female, nothing's being built. So what does that tell you? And then look at how they destroyed society and have us all apart. The family. Families used to be huge. Living in South Texas, the Mexican families are still like that. You used to be like, wow, how could they afford $1 million home, all these beautiful things? Well, because there's 10 motherfuckers living on a 20-acre property, how they're supposed to, and grandma and great grandma ain't at the fucking nursing home. They're living out. What do we do? What were we taught? Leave it to Beaver, fucking Bill Cosby, just the regular family, fuck the rest of the family. And then it got down to, now you look at everything on TV as what? Single parents, gay shit. I mean, look what they've done. They were fucking with us when we were young with the family shows. We were like, oh, we want to be a family and get the American dream and buy the house. That was a big ass commercial to sell homes, break the family apart, be more dependent on government. Because when you move away from your families, aunts and uncles now separated. Families from the South used to be all together. Black families used to be powerful together. They broke all that shit up, man. Family don't even get along anymore. I mean, my family, nothing. They all split apart. And look at us all.
It's before our generation. I think the TV did a lot of damage because, like, my mom's generation is the TV generation, and all those siblings are just like all competitive with each other, and
yeah, they all want to get their own house instead of, let's get a huge property, and aunts and uncles, and we have 4 houses on the property, and if our family gets bigger, we'll build another house on the property. That they actually used to do that. They still do that, and the Mexicans do that shit down in South Texas, and I mean, it's crazy, man. And I mean, this is how deep the program runs.
Yeah, right. I gotta let on Mexican Righteous. He really wants to get on, and I only have a few more minutes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna get off. I'll let somebody else get on.
Yeah, appreciate it though, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Mexican Righteous has been trying to get in all night. The timing's just been off. And he said in the chat he really wants to get on, so let me put him on right now. I'm calling you. Is this Mexican Righteous?
Yes, it is. Hey, thanks, Zach. I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome. You're on.
Yeah, I know you gotta go. I know I'm gonna keep it short, but I just believe that the truth community. I mean, it's funny if you just think about the truth community because it kind of feels like high school. Like it seems like there's cliques. You got your own clique over here, and some don't get along. But I think we got to find like some kind of common ground because we all agree on something. But some of it might be ego. But
it's all ego, man. It's all ego. It's all ego.
It is all ego. But it does something to you when you get a channel on YouTube because it's just, I don't know, man. Like the way I started my channel was very interesting because I did that First Amendment auditing, cop watching thing, and it's funny because I actually did a video that kind of went viral like a month before the whole the Coochie 19.
Sure.
And I wanted to build off of that. I got a bunch of subs. But then this whole thing happened in 2020 and I switched it up. I knew like, you know what? I've known about the truth. I've had my awakening like right around when Obama first got into office. So I know kind of what's going on. And I knew something strange was up with that thing in 2020. So I automatically knew what was up. And now 3 years later, it's just I see their work is they're doing a good job at dividing and conquering for sure. But it seems like they're doing that in the truth community also. So I feel like it's kind of being infiltrated too. You got some shills, but I still think we all got to get together, and then we'll sense who is the shill, and then we won't fuck with them anymore, because I kind of sense like, I don't have beef with nobody, but I think it's funny that Brian from High Impact has a channel now that's kind of like the same thing I was doing, like cop watching. It's fucking hilarious, because it's like you're going backwards. Because
well, hey, remind me what Brian did when we gathered a whole bunch of people in Oklahoma City last year for April 19th. What did Brian do in his own state?
I don't know. What did he do?
He fled to Las Vegas and did his first ever live stream on the street, showing us the Trump Tower from outside. And again, it's because he knew the pressure was on him, because I've been saying for all months, come out and bring your community out. Let's get a big rally out there and wake people up to what's going on in this nation. And again, to me, it's been obvious that this whole community, for the most part, is nothing but controlled opposition and agents and frauds like Brian since 2013, because I've been bringing undeniable knowledge the whole time, and all these bigger channels have just been making fun of me. It's like, why are all these channels like teaming up on me and talking shit about me? At the end of the day, this might sound egotistical, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody else in this community is brought any real knowledge that proves anything. Like, no, people in my community knew what was coming in 2020 before it happened. I explained what 19 is and 19-year cycles, only for them to give us COVID-19 19 years after the 9/11 19 hijackers. And, Brian will bite my work over there, and it's obvious that he watches. But he won't include the Gematria piece. And then why can't he collaborate? I've given him a million times, said, Brian, let's stop fighting over the things of the past. Let's just bring our communities together. Let's start getting a big collection of people on the street, making the news come out and recognize it, try to start some spark in this nation. And then you see these channels like, now's the time to come together. But then it's like, okay, so when are we coming together? You don't see this guy doing anything to come together. So
I think he's trying to protect his channel. So I don't. And if you're that type of person who's trying to protect their channel and get that YouTube, he says he's demonetized, but I'm pretty sure he's not demonetized with his.
His other two channels are monetized. Yeah, his other two channels are monetized. His main his 500,000 subscriber channel is demonetized, but his new two channels that both have good. He's making good money on those two channels.
So I lost my monetization when I started speaking about the truth, and I was just getting started with monetization right before the whole thing happened. And
here's what you got to do. You got to create 6 new channels and try to build them all up, and they'll make a mistake and they'll allow you to monetize one of them. That's just like my situation right now. I have 5 channels going, but this is the one channel that they allow to be monetized. The other 4, they won't monetize.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm demonetized, and I'm just proud of what I'm doing, because I think now if I look at the First Amendment community and cop watchers, there's a couple of them that I do follow, and it's funny, for entertainment purposes, but you do have some, just like what Right mentioned, you got some that are educational, that will teach you, and you got some stupid idiots. And I know which ones the stupid idiots are, and I don't follow them. But ever since this whole thing happened, I thought that you would have someone in that community wake up, but I saw all the big channels didn't want to touch the topic. And I was one of the only ones. Me, you could say this. I understand how you feel about Fake My Real News, and I like watching his stuff. But I was watching your channel back in 2016 or 2017. So I had a friend who put me on you, and when I learned about Gematria, that just blew my mind. So even to this day, I just appreciate all that work, because I wouldn't know about Gematria if it wasn't for you, Zach. So thanks for that. And I think these channels, they need to at least acknowledge Gematria. If they don't want to talk about it, then there's something up. Because if you're a truther, if you're a so-called truther, then you got to entertain everything. You got to have such an open mind. And if you don't want to talk about Gematria, then then something's funny about you. You're acting funny. Then people can start to call you a shill or a disinfo age.
Yeah, again, I can't comprehend why people wouldn't want to share the information unless they're being told not to. Or the other thing is they could be saying, well, look, he's getting deleted all the time. I don't want to risk my my YouTube empire I've built over here. So
yeah, exactly. But since I'm demonetized, I really don't care, man. I'm just letting my tongue loose, and I love it. I'm not making a penny off of this shit, but I was looking forward to making money off of YouTube when I was in that First Amendment my mindset was at. But when March 2020 happened, I just switched it up. I knew, like, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna use this platform and talk about the truth, because and then what happened is I lost some subs, and I actually, what the most fucked up thing is, I've had like some subs that unsub, and they sabotaged my channel. They're the reason that my channel went like I got 2 strikes. I ended up being demonetized, and yeah,
they're flagging your videos.
Exactly. The algorithm doesn't fuck with my videos, like, and then my audience is so weird because my audience is such like sheeple, and it's so fucking weird because I still got people who want to see cop watching, which I'll do it occasionally, but I really don't stay committed to that as much as speaking the truth, because that to me is way more important. But a lot of the people in that community that like the cop watching, First Amendment, they're fucking asleep, man, and they think that they're like they're really fighting for rights and all this other shit. Like, come on, man. I'm one of the few ones that know that the whole Constitution shit, I know it's Freemasons that wrote that shit, so I'm not fucking gonna talk about, you have a First Amendment to this and blah. Like, fuck no, man. Like, if these so-called First Amendment auditors were real First Amendment auditors, then they wouldn't be sheep. But most of them are, and they wore the muzzle. And, I was against that whole shit, and, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Mexican Righteous. And, yeah, man, if you do want to, again, if you want to try what I said, if you do want to get a channel monetized, if you can create a few channels, and then one of them, you'll probably slip through the cracks. So that's how I did it.
Yeah, I'll probably do it, but I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy what you do. And yeah, right, the Matrix. And, yeah, man, we just, we got to get together, find a common ground. I know we have our differences, but we just...
I'll be in LA before long. That's where you are, right?
What happened?
I'm going to be in LA before long, so.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm in the LA County area. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll be down there. So, all right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Take care. Okay, I got to wrap it up, you guys. And I think another stream we need to do, and hopefully we get enough female callers, because there's definitely way more males that watch this show than females, or I should say this channel. But like a battle of the sexes, but not really a battle of the sexes. I really think the problem with like people like, guys seeing, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too, I use the same language, but like guys are like, oh, American women are done for, and the women are like, oh, American guys are losers. Again, I think it really goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, which also doesn't sound that nice, but it's like 90% of people in this society suck. And it's not by accident, it's by design. They've taught us all the wrong things from day one. Like I've always said, our first years of school, if we're going to continue to go to school, should really be about learning how to cooperate with each other and the importance of cooperation and respecting others and what that does for society. I mean, look, you have to look. There's places in the world, right, like Asian communities where the city can put something really nice outside and nobody comes and vandalizes it or steals it because it's been taught in that society to respect the society and its infrastructure, because it's been taught for the right reasons. Because if we respect this, then it's good for all of us. We all benefit. Here in America, you put something like that out, man, it's gonna be gone, and it's gonna be gone as soon as the sun goes down. And again, that is the culture in America. It's dog eat dog. It's I'm out for myself. It's the Wu-Tang Clan. How's it go? It goes like this. Fuck the world. Don't ask me for shit. Everything you want, you got to work hard for it. That's what they said, right? That's like an American attitude. Don't ask me. I'm doing me. I'm not worried about you. And I start to see how people start to get to this place, because there's a lot of people I've helped out in this community who've turned into nothing but backstabbers and slanders. And, next thing I know, they're making videos talking bad about me. It's like, okay, what have I done? I mean, just even the thing with Ali right now. It's like, I don't want to, like, the other people I'm talking about are guys. But Ali, it's like, I've been nothing but nice to that girl and talked to her a lot privately and tried to help her calm down and get through this thing that she's going through. And every time I've done that, it seems like we end the conversation in a good place. The next thing I know, whatever she's posting online is like attacking me. I'm just like, but at the end of the day, even though, well, you know what, I got to admit, I mean, I've still been doing nice things for people, but I've done less nice things for people in the last year than I did all the years before that, I'll put it that way. And it's just because I guess I'm getting more towards that Wu-Tang chorus. And that's not who I want to be, though. You know, I like helping other people. I've always been about helping other people. But yeah, we're teaching people bad values at a young age. It's carrying through the rest of the life. It's turning into the battle of the sexes. And, you know, it's just... So I think we should have a stream about that. And also just like, just another stream about, for people who are bitter with the other sex because they can't find the right partner. You know, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and, you know, see that, like, why you're not attracting the right person. And for some people, it might be that they did something in their life that's an irreversible mistake, and maybe at this point all they can do is teach their children right so they don't go through the same mistake. But, yeah, again, it's like if you want to attract the ideal partner, you got to make sure you're the ideal partner yourself. You got to make sure, you know, your life is in order. Because until then, I mean, people have unrealistic expectations, right? Like every guy wants, you know, most beautiful woman there ever was. Like, are you going to attract the most beautiful woman there ever was if you're not taking care of yourself? I mean, probably not unless you're really lucky. Unless you're going like Arizona State University where there's a surplus of beautiful women and not dudes. But anyway, I think that's another stream we can do because you guys like these streams more where it's about no I do need to get off. But hold on, let's let no caller ID close it out since the troll has something to say. Okay, no caller ID.
Hey, what up, man?
Okay, what's up?
I just wanted to say I saw your Zach in the streets, man. That shit was awesome.
Okay, so you just wanted to call from no caller ID, okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate the support. There's some more videos like that on the Zachary on the Corner channel if you want to check it out. There was several great videos, but they've been taken down for censorship, but for whatever reason, they've allowed that video to stay up. So Zachary on the Corner's got some more videos like that.
Yeah, that shit's hilarious, man. You should do some more shit like that.
Well, that's what we do when we go out. I mean, yeah, if you've never seen us out pounding pavement, those scenes happen. That might be the funniest scene of all time just because how ridiculous that guy was, but it's out there.
I do that same shit in public, man. I do that same shit. I tell them, hey, you know that the word mask means mockery?
Sure. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the support, and I'm glad you're out there speaking truth, too. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. You have a good night. All right. I thought he was a troll, but he's just calling from no caller ID. Yeah, I do need to get off, you guys, because I'm gonna be behind on dinner, and yeah, we don't want to be behind on dinner. And by the way, also just one more thing. Like, if you do have toxic people in your life, remove yourself from those toxic people. Sweet lady right now is on the super grind because she's trying to like help build up her mom's life. So she's working extra weekends and she's sending all the money back to Burma because, again, her mom was not doing well. So she's trying to get her mom extra medical supplies and get her on a really good diet and extend her mom's life. But the downside of that is she's working an extra job on the weekend. She likes her Monday through Friday job. But her weekend job she does not like because the person that's the manager of the store is one of those people that like likes to act like they're the authority and like talk down to you, and she does not do well with that. And I just keep telling her, I'm like, listen, I mean, you're already making good enough money really Monday through Friday. You can still help out your mom. But yeah, it's just, you know, if that was her Monday through Friday job, she'd be going crazy. And I'd just be telling her to find a different job. So, again, if you guys are unhappy in life and there's somebody toxic in your world that's at your job or wherever, I mean, if you can make changes in your life to get toxic people out of your life, you know, that'll probably also make you a lot less suicidal, since that is where we began. Again, toxic things will seep into you, and you get too much toxicity, it can go, you know, the ultimate wrong direction, which is where we began. So anyhow, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. All right, hold on. All right, you have to get it in 1 minute. You got 1 minute, 505, go, and then I got to get off. 1 minute.
Okay, I'll make it quick.
I just wanted to say that I love your channel, Zachary.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, I'm new to the truth community, and I found all of your information really invaluable.
Well, I'm glad that you found the work. It's nice to hear another lady's voice. I actually thought you were another caller from earlier because somebody else is from 505, but thank you for calling in. I appreciate that you support the work. Did you want to say anything else real quick?
Yeah, I just have one question for you.
Okay.
Is it true that Paul Enslaved is your daddy?
Oh, she's a troll. She got me. Okay, no wonder you were calling so adamantly. Hey, relay the message to Paul that thank you for bringing some more viewers to the channel tonight, including yourself. And I guess thank Paul for letting me live in his head rent free. I honestly had forgotten that he even existed until you guys bombarded the chat tonight. So.
Paul's daddy.
Okay. Hey, seriously. What is it about a woman that's attracted to inbred Paul?
Well, he doesn't gaze up in the sky and number count.
Okay. You guys, this is actually be another good conversation. If you guys are not familiar with Paul, he makes people come on his stream and call him daddy, and people do it. It's just like, who are these weirdos? Huh?
Come on, say it, Zach.
What?
Say it. Paul's my daddy. Say it. Paul's my daddy.
Well, you guys, this is what a real cult looks like right here, you guys. If you want to see what a cult looks like, go on this guy's channel because they all refer to him as daddy. It's just the weirdest thing.
He is daddy.
My
daddy.
Hey, well, he can be your daddy. I mean, that's your life. That's your choice. So. Anyway, if you guys are not familiar with Paul, he literally does look like the product of inbreeding, and it's just like, I mean, for all of you guys who feel like like you guys look in the mirror and aren't happy with yourselves, go watch Paul's channel. You might be like, man, if Paul can do it, anyway, Paul in the way can give a lot of people hope because literally it's like somehow an inbred loser has a cult-like following of people worshiping him. So anyhow, I do appreciate the style and the way you snuck on here. But yeah, in a way, I think this is also an interesting point to close out on just how such an inept guy like Paul can have a collection of groupies. So anyhow, have a good night. Yeah, but you guys, seriously, like you thought sports gematria looked bad. Take a look at Paul Unslaved. And keep in mind, that's another guy that High Impact Flicks wants to roll with. So anyway. It is the weirdest thing, that Paul Unslaved channel. I mean, it's just like, here's a homeless guy who looks inbred that lives in his car, and somehow he has this. Maybe it's not even real. It's like, is this like some created like illusion on YouTube? Again, this is somebody that associates with High Impact Flicks. High Impact Flicks will bring Paul on. If you guys missed it, High Impact Flicks actually made a video about me, earlier this year for giving Paul a piece of my mind. But yeah. So anyway. YouTube, in a way, YouTube is like an illusion. It's like these certain channels that looks like they have a bunch of subs, and realize that's what the illusion did. Like, Will went for the illusion. He knows that I can actually bring out people and help build his channel up. Brian doesn't really do that for him, but he goes with Brian and sides with Brian because on Brian he has the illusional 500,000 subs. And what Will doesn't understand is I'd have way more than that if I hadn't been deleted a gazillion times and buried in the algorithm now. I mean, 3 times I've grown a channel to 100K subs, and when you hit that 100K mark, that's when your channel takes off. But anyway, it's just my channel's gotten deleted every time I got there. So, and now it's like I can't even grow to 30,000. But anyway, that Paul thing is woo. Reminds you of a lot of stuff you see on YouTube, but isn't real. This channel is real. This is a grassroots channel. Just like, look, I mean, it's like a 4-hour stream. We raised $30. Meanwhile, here, fake illusion stream. Hey guys, I got a video of Owen Benjamin saying that his dad sucked a man's cock. $1,000 in super chats rolling in 5 seconds. Like that's what people want to donate money to? Anyway, appreciate all you guys who do actually support the channel. And if we can get a heat wave here, I might go down to LA sooner than later. I just want to make sure I don't get caught in Grants Pass with a big snowstorm. So anyhow, We'll leave it there. And until next time, Truth Seeker.